Hello, hello. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Tonight we're gonna be watching season 5 of our favorite interior designing disaster show, Decorating Sense. I think this might be the last season that we're able to watch. I've had a hard time tracking down any seasons after season 6, which is bizarre since there are like 30 seasons of it. But yeah. Let's pull up good old Joan and see what nightmares she has in store for us. If anybody knows where to find any seasons or episodes past season 5, please let me know. I would love to continue watching this show, seeing if she can actually figure out how to do some good interior designing as the seasons go on. Because, as I'm sure we all know, these early seasons are a bit of a hot mess. But let's see what Joan has in store for us with a kitchen makeover.
Gives you great decorating ideas for a lot less. I'm Joan Steffen, and today we're going inside this house to redo a small, bland kitchen that needs color and texture. We're going to give it plenty of personality for under $500.
Oh my. A good start.
That's right, we will transform this tiny kitchen by creating nooks and crannies for additional storage, display, and function. In Trash to Treasure, find out how to make a standing coat rack out of an old porch column. And meet a homeowner who has decorated her home using bright, colorful fabrics and wall covering. This home was built in about 1950, and the size of the kitchen is reminiscent of that era. We would say tiny with a well, maybe it would be a small t. Tiny with a very, very small t. So storage is always a problem in a kitchen this size. We're going to address that. But also, we need to talk about the decorating in here. It's really quite bland. Even the homeowner admits that in this note to us, which I gotta read this to you. I love this. Goddesses of decorating. And demigods too. You have carte blanche in my home. Breathe life into my bland kitchen. I trust you completely, and I'm so thankful that you have chosen our home to bestow your talents upon. I don't think she's talking about me. I think she's talking about Nancy Gold. It's so nice.
Oh, it's Nancy. She's awful when it comes to kitchens.
Survive in your world. I know that.
No, I hate bland. In fact, this room looks like mashed potatoes, and I want to make it chili peppers.
Well, I do like mashed potatoes, but I'll go for chili peppers.
We need some spice in here,
Okay.
and we're going to do that
Oh,
by
God.
paint.
Okay.
We're going to paint the
I
ceiling
hate
periwinkle blue.
Painting the ceiling?
white kitchen as much as anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to do the walls.
But-
See this?
What are you holding there?
You might get to do this. We're going to trowel the walls to get some texture on the walls.
You think I can handle
You might
troweling?
be able to do this.
Okay, I will
Then,
trowel.
here's
Oh,
some
good. We're
hair-
gonna put texture on the
Paint
walls
just kind of cream
so that you
color.
cannot touch
We're going to
them.
address the storage problem with some shelving because there's no more really wall space for shelves.
Okay, and then you have some great idea for this, I hear.
This is fruit. And fruit is our operative theme. And I'm going to take some art posters and decoupage the fronts of these cabinets with fruit.
Oh no, the decoupage.
Isn't that cool?
So we got a spicy fruit thing going
Yes.
on here. And we're going to do all that, have a lot of fun for under $500. Now remember how this tiny, bland kitchen looks in its before state, because in minutes it will be bursting with color, decorated in a colorful fruit motif. We'll begin with the walls. Our mission is to add texture, lots of texture. So we began with this texture paint.
Oh, wow.
Do we need more?
This is
Texture
great.
paint and popcorn
And then,
ceilings.
using this looped texture roller, applied it generously to the walls.
Wow, I love it. Look at this.
Oh my
A nightmare.
Now the fun begins. While the plaster is still wet, we move the paint around with a trowel using a sweeping motion. So you don't want any of this to show.
The-
It has to be a big enough application.
Right.
You don't have that.
I love the way this looks. That looks perfect.
Really, even with
Yes.
this?
Yes,
You
I
don't-
like that. I keep some of that because otherwise, why would we be using this roller?
I'm not sure.
No, that looks fabulous.
We are well on our way to creating a Mediterranean look, one which resembles an old country farmhouse.
And is impossible to paint over if you ever want to change the look of your kitchen. Because you've got to, like, sand down the entire thing.
Okay, you know what? This is really pretty easy to do, although
it
very messy.
Let me clean you off.
Yeah, could you? But there are lots of other techniques that you can use.
Yeah,
for
that's why I
different
wanted to
textures.
show what other things would create things, like the sponge.
Yes?
Okay, if you wanted to not get it so bumpy and wanted to get more of a lined effect, see what's happening?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, and you could swirl.
Okay.
There's many things you can do on this wall.
Anything else?
Okay, yes, just a minute.
You always
Okay.
have many ideas.
See this brush?
Yes.
Okay, with the brush, you get a more of like a stipple look. It almost looks like wall covering.
Okay.
Cool, right?
I like that very
And you
much.
can cross hatch it if you want.
You were so great. You
I
could
know.
write your name.
You could write your
if
name.
you wanted to.
Just a minute. And then you could get rid of your name, just like that. You could have an effect that had almost like a curly cue.
Very cool.
What do you think?
I love it. You can be so creative with this.
How about this?
These are the same people who decided, you know what would be great in a
You
kitchen?
need 4 hours.
Carpeting.
You do.
So
Let's put
get started on the
carpeting.
ceiling.
Okay.
On the floor of our kitchen. That won't go
This is the
badly
soft
if we ever,
periwinkle blue
you know,
we coat the ceiling
spill
with.
food.
Using a cool color such as this creates the feeling of the sky being right above our heads.
At least they're not popcorning the ceiling. But I think that would cost too much.
Well, with the ceiling complete, we can now return to the walls. The plaster should be dry just about now. This is the warm Nantucket white color we'll apply to the stucco.
So you changed it from a
You can
cream
see how this color combined with
to
the
a
plastic
beige.
texture creates an old European farmhouse.
I'm gonna
feel.
scream.
Now, turning our attention to the windows, first we put up inexpensive vinyl mini blinds. Each cost just $4, so we spent $8 for 2 windows.
You're making it
Just above
more
the window
white.
frame, we got our first glimpse of the fruit motif with these vibrant store-bought balloon valances. We hung these on basic continental curtain rods. Total cost for 2 simple window treatments, $24. Then, to address our storage problem, we brought in 2 hand-built wood shelves which rest on wood brackets. We installed the first
Okay, that's
shelf
kinda pretty.
right above this window, and the second over here above the door. Never underestimate where you can squeeze in more storage in a small room. And next, you guessed it, we filled the shelves with fruit-themed accessories. And we are not done with the fruit yet. Nancy's discovered this great ceramic paint doesn't need to be fired,
No,
right?
once you paint it on tile, it just dries by the air.
I love it. If you
Yeah.
do the right thing, that's a
If you
good
do the
thing.
right thing.
So what are you going to do with it?
We're gonna add some fruit.
Okay.
This is my fruit segment.
What are you painting on there?
I'm gonna paint, well, can't you tell yet? I'm gonna paint a strawberry.
It's a strawberry.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be a very cute strawberry, and I'll tell you what we have to do.
You gotta have great faith in yourself to do this, don't you?
Yeah, or total stupidity. Okay, yeah, the little leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Or not worry about the fact that it's somebody else's house.
Oh, that looks great.
And you get a strawberry in here.
You are artistic.
That's it.
Okay. How often are we doing these? What should I do?
I'm gonna do them randomly, and you get to hold the brush and hand it to me, because you're not doing this. Excuse me.
So, reluctantly, I put down my paintbrush and left this project entirely to Nancy.
I'm guessing that's... Oh, it's a pear. Okay. You maybe want to do another coat on those cherries? Oh. Maybe
Now,
a
over
second
here
coat
above
on the
fridge area,
paints?
Nancy pointed out these cabinets don't have any detail like the rest. So we got to work adding our own detail, and yes, Nancy did allow me to join her in this project. Our plan is to decoupage these 2 fruit posters onto the fronts of the cabinet. So using a razor knife, we carefully cut out the fruit. Then because this one poster will cover the 2 cabinets, we split it up the middle. Next, we spread the decoupage medium on the back and then applied the posters to the cabinet. Last, we brushed on 1 coat of polyurethane over the entire door.
Okay, you've sealed it. I guess that's good, because it's
it's
right over top of the oven, which is gonna get a lot of like steam and stuff, which is gonna make that awful to clean as well.
Drawer pulls $7 each for a total of $70.
Oh, look at the wood splitting! Oh my god!
Our next order of business is the lighting. Remember how dull it was? Well, we changed out the overhead light by installing this white pendant fixture. Now this creates more of a chandelier look, a big change for a little money. Underneath the cabinets, we added task lighting to make the counters more usable for cooking. These low wattage fixtures cost just $10 each.
Oh, that's
for a total
handy.
of $20. Well, all that's left, a few finishing fruit touches. One more great storage solution idea if you have a nothing space like this was over here, storing nothing.
This was an odd, narrow little space, and so I found this wine caddy. Could you stand it?
I love this.
I loved it, and it was perfect because it actually fit right into this little nook.
Right in the unfinished wood.
Very lucky.
That turned out great.
Thanks.
You know what? I love this kitchen, but you can probably hear the voice of the little person who hopefully will love this kitchen. Here comes Isabel. She's going to own this place along with her parents. Oh. This is Leslie and Jim. What do you think?
Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like fruit?
She's not talking much, but how about you? Is that what you think?
Yes, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. We can't wait to go to work.
Okay.
What does the daddy think?
It's bright and cheery. I like it a lot.
Oh, good. Well, enjoy it.
He's been
Wanna know how much
coached.
we spent on this? Or she spent on this?
What's the we? I spent $4.98.
And we think you were worth every penny. What are you staring at?
Can you blow a kiss? Mwah.
Let's take a look at everything we've done in Isabel's new kitchen. Well, remember where we began? In a tiny and bland kitchen.
Yeah, very alcoholic core to just stick a whole wine caddy
Now it is
just
colorful,
in a
functional, and has plenty of
hollowed
added
out
storage.
section of your cabinet.
It's a kitchen the Hansons can enjoy spending together time preparing meals.
It's
chatting,
the same color as it was before, but they just painted fruit on parts of it. What the fuck?
It's time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to turn your garage sale finds into great furniture and accessories.
Not
for your
necessarily.
home.
There's really
And today
cheap
we're back
wine.
with Sticks and Stones, a home furnishing store in Minneapolis, and the owner, Rob Whitleff, is going to show us how to make a great standing coat rack out of an old weathered pillar. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So this thing that I'm trying to avoid there is actually what we're going to make, the coat rack.
Yep, it's a coat rack, and we've simply created out of things we found at a salvage yard.
And I would imagine you start with the old
Yep.
pillar.
We'll start with the old pillar, porch post, basically.
Mhm.
What we've done is actually cut this one down to size. It's a very large post. We just made it what we wanted. So then what we did was after we cut that off, we added on to the bottom here, as you can see, the decorative old gingerbread, actually the old kind of accent pieces off the front of the
That you
porch.
did not sand and you did not
Giving it
paint.
the great stability that we needed. Then if you come up, you can see that we've added these great old hooks. Now, this is something we also found at the salvage yard. Very inexpensive, but they're great because they have this screw here on the end.
Easy to.
And the screw allows you to just,
Put
you know,
in.
put a little starter hole in there, and then you just really screw them right in.
Good, quick idea.
Yeah, it's a really easy, very simple kind of a process and a great look.
Who doesn't need an extra coat rack around the
I
house?
agree.
And who doesn't need some post office
Who
furniture.
doesn't? Yeah, that is true.
I love this.
Isn't
I
this
have no
great?
idea why.
Yeah, it's just, this is actually, like
Huh.
you said, it's an old post office box. The doors actually do open up. It's a great kind of steel color, and it's just a really interesting piece. You know, it's one of those things you see. It's usually really inexpensive because it's weird and nobody
Yeah.
knows what to do with it.
Like how much would you get?
This was, yeah, I think, like $35 or $50. It was very
What?
inexpensive. But it's a really solid piece, and it would be great.
Not in
like, if you
today's
have a
money.
bathroom, fill this up with soaps, or roll up towels, do that kind of thing. It'd be a fantastic look.
Got a big enough bathroom?
Yeah, if you've got a big enough bathroom, use it to store like extra socks or things like that, in a different setting. Just really play upon it. Actually, do mail your household mail. Label each row for a different child or yourself, and hand your notes back and
Kids
forth.
would love this.
It'd be
School
great.
papers. I have so many school papers.
That's true. Or if you
Or-
want to use the backhand side and not use the front because of the doors,
I feel like I'm in a magic show
yeah,
here.
isn't it? Spin magic wheel. It makes a great little kind of catch-all for kids' toys. You know, those small things,
Oh.
kids' shoes, socks, gloves, mittens, collectibles, whatever, stuffed animals. It's a great little kind of push thing that keeps everything organized and makes it look great.
Yeah, instead of tripping over it at night.
Wouldn't
stick it in
that
here.
technically
Stick it in
be
What a good
government
idea.
property?
Like
With like,
this. Okay,
the
what are we gonna do with
post
this?
office?
It's a great print.
Isn't it a
but
great print? It's just a
Yeah.
really
Am I
it's
crazy?
a nice quality old print. There's no tears in it, but the frame itself is pretty awful.
Yeah, what's happened with that?
You know, I
Looks like-
think it had like a mirror on it at one point in time, that mirror accent.
Oh.
Yeah, and the frame of the scale of the frame itself is very small. It's a little too small for the piece.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, what we decided to do was get this great old doorway molding, actually, and this is exactly the way we found it, the color that we found it in, and we've just miter boxed the corners, cut them, and made a great frame, and now the piece really stands out.
I like the fact that it's kind of an elegant picture, and then you've got a frame that's just a little bit more rustic.
It is. It just shows, kind of shows the age of the print. It is an older print, and it just gives you kind of that weathered, fun look. It'd be great in like a country house.
Yeah, and a big pile on a
Yep.
wall. Yeah, I like that. I like them all.
Thanks.
Nice
It's good to see you.
again. And
But
hope
you
you'll stay
didn't
with us
attach
because
it,
when
you
we
just
come
laid
back,
it
we'll
over
meet a
top of
homeowner
it.
who decorates on a budget.
also, that PO box thing, like, how else would you get it besides stealing it? Because, like, you're not gonna just find a PO box sitting on the curb. Like, it's gonna be in a post office unless for some reason your post office went out of business, but, like, how often does that happen? So, like, I'm very confused about the actual legal ramifications of acquiring one.
Now, we are about to meet a woman who has used bright, colorful fabric and wall coverings to create elegance with a decadent twist. Let's take a look. It was the exterior of this home that first captured the hearts of Sansari Goldenberg and her husband. The inside, however, needed some work, so Sansari decided upon wall coverings and fabrics to give it the
Whoa.
distinctive style you see here.
12 years ago, when we fell in love with this home, the decorating inside was a little bit drab. It had grays, browns, beiges, but the character and the style that we were looking for was here. We wouldn't have been able to afford it, however, and decorate it the way we wanted to. We wanted to bring in some color and life into the house. The beautiful wall covering that is in this room reminds me of something that probably was in this house when it was first built.
That's
As you can see,
intense.
he worked wonderfully to mix and match contrasting colors and patterns in one room.
So
The
they should have let that woman have a
stripes,
second
florals,
take
and
on that.
colors of the upholstery make a very dramatic statement. Here, Sansari upholstered an ottoman to serve as a coffee table for the center of the room. The fringed border at the bottom creates whimsical detail. The
Yeah,
expensive
that's a word
feel
for
of
it.
the living room is surprisingly deceptive to what the actual cost savings were. Here, a rich mahogany slatted table with a leather top adds to the richness of the room at a cost of only $25 from a garage sale. An inexpensive garden concrete gargoyle perched on the banister is an unexpected surprise.
I like
One whole
him.
wall is dedicated to photos hung in a family tree. Each is framed in an inexpensive frame, an historical and impressive way to decorate.
Oh, that's neat.
This fireplace was had 4-inch, almost like bathroom square tiles on it, painted completely gray. We wanted to dress it up and try and do it a little bit inexpensively. So we put the marble on and had the mantle built out of wood. But instead of ordering expensive carved wood, we found a place in Chicago that manufactures these little appliques. And they come in various little pieces that you mix and match and put on in the spaces that you plan out. But they're very inexpensive, they're easy to use, and most people are completely fooled and think that it's, you know, beautiful carved woodwork that was always in the house.
Sansari applied the same sawdust and glue appliques to the existing woodwork in the dining room as well. Combined with the elaborately patterned wall covering, it creates a very formal feel in this room.
What the
Here she
fuck
decks
is
out
hanging
the
off
existing
the
chandelier with
chandelier?
inexpensive dangling beads and shades. Look closely and you will see that the shape was taken from the flower-filled vases. of
What's
the
that
wall
red
covering.
thing hanging off the top?
For dining chairs, Sansari purchased inexpensive mail-ordered chairs and covered them with brightly contrasting plaid fabric. In the sunroom, Sansari chose less formal fabric and wall coverings, while still complementing the tasteful, lively style found in the rest
I don't
of
hate
the
this
house.
room.
Purple, red, and gold-hued floral combines with geometric shapes to give the bench substance and color.
The
Along the
upholstery's a
opposite
bit
wall,
much.
Sansari constructed an armoire which she painted a bright green with a subtle hint of pink using a dry brush technique. Sansari even
Interesting.
managed to come up with a way to lend elegance to her least favorite piece of furniture, her husband's recliner. She covered up the standard upholstery with a striped fabric to match the florals of the bench.
This room was originally a porch that led to the outside of the house. When we remodeled our home, we turned this into our home office, and we chose this wallpaper because it's perfectly fitting for an office with the beautiful books and the coloring, and it really fills up the room to the point where we don't even need to have any accessories at all.
I like that wallpaper. That's pretty.
For questions or comments, please write to Decorating Sense. And be sure to include the episode number and your daytime phone number. We're back with Nancy Golden in our wonderful fruity kitchen. And
Glad you like it.
remember the decoupage that we did on the cupboard doors? Well, she's got other ideas for decoupage.
It's kind of back now after having been out for 20 years. I'm
20
bringing it back.
Or 30 years.
I'm bringing it back.
Okay, how we doing
Single-handedly.
it?
Well, first of all,
Decoupage is not
it's
back.
just a piece of wall covering that you decoupage the tray itself and then the piece of wall covering, and you can get. This was an expensive piece of wall covering, so it took this inexpensive tray and really kind of made it classy.
And you can almost get that as a sample in some wallpaper stores.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
And then this box, this wood box, I took a piece of wall covering and cut around it, and you put the decoupage material on the back. You attach it to the front of the box, voila, and then you literally just smear it all over the top.
And then if you want to, you can, after it's dried, you can add a little stain if you want to make it look a little more aged.
You
or
could
something
whitewash
like
it,
that.
you could antique it, you could gold leaf the edges. There's a lot of things you can do to
The
decoupage.
options are limitless.
Limitless.
Thank you so much. I had such fun today.
I did too, Johnny.
Appreciate it. And remember, with a little imagination, you can make your decorating dreams come true for less. I'm Joan Steffen. Thanks for watching.
There's a weird vibe happening with them today in that episode. I don't know how I feel about it.
Hi, and welcome to Decorating Sense, the show that gives
Yo,
you
the
great
alligator
decorating
teeter
ideas for
totter.
your house. I'm Joan
Hell
Steffen.
yeah.
And today we're going to show you how to finish off a large space, a dining room, a family room, and a kitchen for a family that has 6 little girls. Can you believe it? Anyway, the space
Wow,
right
that's
now
a lot
is
of
little
kids.
bit cold, so you know us. We are going to warm it up, liven it up for under $500. That's right, we'll take advantage of the woodsy feel this room already has and warm it up with honeysuckle vines, fabric, and floral materials. In Trash to Treasure, find out how to turn an old Chippendale mirror into a garden accessory using galvanized flashing. Plus, we'll rearrange and redesign a contemporary living entertainment room without spending a dime. Yes, you heard me right. 6 little girls live in this house, ages 11 to 1. And this room, the kitchen, the dining room, and the family room, is really not answering their casual, functional purposes right now. This is a room that needs to meet the needs of all of them. Right now it's a little cavernous, masculine, leather, wood, and it doesn't really reflect the charming personalities of this family.
Emma, I like this
Add
house.
the charm. It's Courtney Yasmine.
Hi, Joan.
So nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, add some charm. Where do we start?
Right, well, we've already done a really pretty 2-color wall treatment that they had already in place.
That's great.
And we'll be keeping that because it's a beautiful color. And we'll be adding some decorative painting that really is about the 6 daughters, which will be cute.
I get to do decorative painting? We may have to rethink that. How about the windows? We have lots of great views going on here.
Yeah, the view is beautiful. We don't want to obstruct that, so we'll just be doing some softening, more charming things to just make the room cozier.
And no sewing.
Right, no sewing.
How about toys? That's always a concern when you've got a lot of kids, and I'm sure that that's a concern here.
Right, the problem has been that they've tried to keep this area picked up, so they've kept all the toys for the most part down in the basement play area. So now we're going to try to bring some of the toys back into this space, so at night when Mom's cooking, the kids can be up here where they really want to be, but then we can easily put the toys away into some storage pieces right here in this room.
Sounds good. They are such cute kids.
Yeah, they're really a great family.
There they are in pictures. We hope to meet them in person.
I bet you the TV's in that like big wooden cabinet.
For under $500.
That's a thing they loved to do back then.
This room is off to a good start, but it's a bit too cavernous and masculine for a family with 6 girls.
Yeah, fuck you, Dad. You don't get your manly leather chair.
This room isn't very functional or fun. And fun is what we're all about on this show, so we began our fun right here in the kitchen with decorative paint. We are going to write in freehand cursive all the names of the daughters on the soffits. These are the 2 colors we'll be working with, burnt sienna and leaf green. First, we spaced out the names with pencil. And then painted it leaf green by tracing over our line drawing. A stiff bristle brush as this works best. The oldest child, Melissa, Jane, Anne, Laura, Grace, and the baby of the family, Rose. Then we stamped oversized copper leaves in between each girl's name.
You better hope that they don't have any more. Then you gotta add a name. And the whole lineup's screwed.
That looks so good. You know, not content with just buying a leaf stamp, Courtney had to make her own perfect leaf stamp. Why'd you do that and how'd you do it?
Well, I think to get just the design that you want in this kind of a size can be hard to find and can also be expensive. So we decided to try making our own, and we used a real oak leaf.
Found the perfect leaf after hours of searching.
Right, scoured the lawn, found the perfect leaf, and then we used this foam and traced our leaf onto this foam. This is the pad that you use under a sleeping bag,
Right,
the
this was just
camping
found in
pad.
the basement, right?
Right,
So-
right. So, you know, this was cheaper for us by
Yeah.
a long shot. Then we cut out what we had traced with the scissors, and then we used a razor knife and cut in some veining so that it wouldn't be too dense when we put the paint up.
It worked out really well. I like that. And then all you do is just add a little paint to your stamp, and not too much, right?
Right, you can just dab on the paint. It doesn't have to be perfect. The thing is to not probably have too much on.
It looks so cute. I like it a lot.
I really like it too. I think they turned out great.
What do we do now? Under the window treatments?
Mhm.
We'll use the term window treatment loosely in the kitchen. Because we want the light to pour in through the windows, we'll add an outdoor decorative touch. We wound honeysuckle vine and real oak leaves over the window frame.
And then when the oak leaves dry up, you've got a bunch
On the
of
smaller window, we constructed
garbage
a leaf
on your
balance.
counters.
We wound real branches of oak leaves, more vine, and silk leaves and acorns, and attached
Yeah,
them to the top
just
of
go
the
with the silk leaves.
This window treatment
Don't use
simply
real
enhances
leaves.
this area and
It's
warms it up
stupid.
without blocking the lovely view to the outside.
It looks pretty.
Before we leave the kitchen, we have to address the lighting issue in here. As you can see, we have numerous overhead can lights. Overhead lighting such as this doesn't provide any warmth. The kitchen is either all lit up or dark. So, to cozy up this space, especially at night, we placed 2 inexpensive lamps on the sides of the sink to add a finished-looking symmetry. Then, to repeat our decorative theme, 1 more similar lamp was added here on the second sink for more coziness. Notice how we continued our leaf motif by tracing around a real leaf on the shade and then outlining it. This is such an easy and inexpensive way to personalize a lamp. Total cost for cozy lighting, just $48. Now, turning our attention to the family
for
room,
3
we then
lamps
started
seems
dressing the bank of windows.
excessive.
We wanted to camouflage the blinds at the top, so we brought in 10 yards of leaf print sheer gauze fabric at a cost of $8 per yard.
Oh, that's
We draped
pretty.
and swagged and draped until we got just the right amount of droop on each window. And the finishing touch on these windows? Small nosegays of oak leaves and acorns.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Also, the problem is if you use
We
real
replaced the artificial flowers in the homeowner's vase with more oak
leaves,
and
there's the-
cattails to tie in our new theme.
there's the risk
Now
that you're
it's
gonna
time to
bring
focus
some
on
kind
Joe's
of
toy problem.
bug
As we said,
inside.
their toys are currently stored in the lower level basement. So instead of constantly hauling those toys up and down a flight of stairs, we'll store them in this room once and for all. This handmade V toy box doubles as a great window seat.
So the things on top of the windows, they're called nosegays. I don't know why they're called that. They just are. Interior decorating terminology is weird. Like, I don't know why the little, like, bump out section on the wall, between the wall and the ceiling, is called a soffit. It just is. And it's stupid. I'm gonna blame the French. Because 9 times out of 10, if there's a weird word like a nosegay or a soffit, it's probably French.
When all the girls have a friend over, well, you get the idea, this could come in real handy for additional seating. And the safety hinged lid makes cleanup duty a snap. Simply open it up, toss in the toys. Total cost to build this toy box? $90. Almost every little girl loves to read, and with 6 little girls comes a lot of storybooks. So we brought up the kids' bookcase from the basement for family room reading, and got busy painting it to coordinate with our leaf theme. Then, to hide the books and make it more attractive, we shirred the same leaf fabric that we used on the windows onto 2 tension rods. For pennies, just $16, we took the bookcase from this to this, a children's bookcase that blends perfectly with our new decor.
That's not bad. I'd probably
Although this
lose
wreath
the
is
painting on the
wood-side,
side,
it
just
doesn't
keep
show up
the
well against
fabric.
stone. So, with the help of interior floral decorator Melissa Kinney, we began updating the wreath by removing the fruit.
Well, in our last episode, she was all about fruit.
Then we wired honeysuckle. And glued and tucked in oak leaves.
Again, I'm gonna really hope that these are fake oak leaves.
We basically closed in the center circle of the existing wreath to make it appear fuller and more free-flowing. Mission accomplished. An 80s wreath brought into the 90s.
Also, she didn't get rid of all the
All
fruit,
that's left,
just like
a few finishing
some of it.
touches.
Be careful when lighting candles around fake florals. The fabric, they'll catch. You use fake lights.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. We have Jane, Anne, Laura, Grace, Rose, Mom Diane, Dad John, and Melissa's at camp. So I'm sorry she couldn't be here. But I got it right?
Yeah, that's right. Very good.
So what do you guys think of your new rooms?
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. It's just nice little touches, I think, that really warm the space up. I love the girls' names in the kitchen. I think that's kind of a cool deal.
I do too.
How much did we spend in here?
We spent $4.99.
$499. You guys enjoy that, okay?
We will.
Okay.
Very nice.
The one in the middle is not so sold on that.
That's right. This room in its before stage didn't reflect the charming personalities of the family or address the children's toy storage problem. Now it's fun, cozy, and highly functional. The kitchen is personalized, warm, and inviting.
The only
And
thing
the
he did
family
was
room
paint a
is
couple
now
of
useful
names
space, a
and
place
throw in
where
a couple
all
of
members
lamps.
Of the family can play, relax, or watch movies together. A room for all seasons.
This room I like, okay.
It's time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to turn your garage sale finds into great furniture and accessories for your home. And today we are back at Sticks and Stones. It's a home furnishing store in Minneapolis. And the owner, Rob Whitleff, is going to show us how to use galvanized flashing metal and painted finials to turn an old Chippendale-style mirror into a garden
Oh,
design.
what kind
Hi,
of
Rob.
mirror?
Hi.
You know what? I was confused before, but now when I see the mirror, I understand what you're doing. It was
Yeah.
the flashing that confused
The flashing,
me.
yeah, the flashing is a little bit confusing, but it's just a very simple process. What we've done is we took what was kind of an ugly old mirror.
Kind of.
Yeah, it was an odd wood color. It probably matched a dresser at some point in time,
Yeah.
but the dresser was gone. So what we've done is decided just to create a great little mirror for kind of outside, actually, what the thought is. What we're
What?
doing is taking the metal flashing like you see here, and this is just, it's actually roof flashing, it's galvanized. And what we've done is we added some silver spray paint to this piece also, and then created a mirror that would maybe go outside in a garden setting. Hang it on a garden wall, like we've shown here with, vines growing up around it, branches, whatever. So it gives that great depth and reflection, but it also adds in the metal accent.
Right. That's an awesome. How did you do this, though? I mean, it looks very difficult.
It wasn't too difficult. Actually, what we did was we began with spraying out the entire frame. We sprayed out the sides because it's very difficult to get the metal flashing around the sides, and we sprayed out this finial. So this is kind of the silver color that we chose. Then what we did is
Okay,
we
so
rolled up
spray
the
paint?
flashing, which comes in a fairly large roll, about a 10-foot long roll, and we cut the pieces to scale. So we actually laid this piece out and then just traced around and cut it out. Now it was cut with a tin snip. Then we also then ended up by tacking in the frame itself with this small tack nails. So then that secures the flashing onto the frame.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think that would
But
be really
the
distinctive.
sides aren't
Yeah, it's just
covered,
it's
is
a
what
very
I'm
easy, great
hearing.
look, and it was very inexpensive.
Let me sneak back here
Okay.
behind the mirror and talk about this great
Isn't that great?
Yes, I love that.
That is actually a bullseye, which was basically a corner of a doorway molding. They put those accent. Yeah, it's a bullseye piece. This came from a salvage yard, and then it's actually just a very simple clock that we added on. It's the kind of clock you can buy at a craft store for about $5.
So you can
Okay,
turn anything
nifty.
into a clock.
You got it.
basically.
What we did was we basically just drilled through the piece itself, the back. This is the backing on the clock, and then we just put the component right through the front and
I
screwed
just
it
drill a
on.
hole in a piece of wood.
Just drill the hole
Yep.
and
You got it. It
Yeah.
was a very simple project. time-wise.
Like John
It's a
said.
battery-operated clock, and it's just a really neat look.
really distinctive look. I like that. Lots of distinctive things today.
Lots of
Speaking of
distinctive
which,
things. Speaking of which,
yeah, this is a neat look.
this is a great look. It's done with simple old molding, an old frame, and barn board. And we've created just a really fun kind of folk art looking piece.
So
I know it's
purchase
supposed to
frame.
be a
It's purchase
butterfly,
frame, an old frame that we've painted
but it
out
looks like a
to give it the
like
coloration
two hot
it has.
dogs.
Then the actual old molding here, it's this old trim. This was actually kind of a dark brown color, wood color. We painted it out to make it more light and fresh.
Yeah, butterflies aren't that.
Yeah, butterflies aren't normally brown, but yeah, I agree. And then we actually added this here is actually from a wire hanger. We just chopped up a wire hanger, added on a little detail there. The back three pieces here are barn board, which has been put together and tacked
Like a
onto
hot
the
dog
frame.
from
So
the
it's
top.
a very simple way to do a fun, kind of fresh folk art thing for a country house and a farm, anything like that. It's just a really
Maybe I just need to
great
eat more
look.
I
dinner.
think it's really cute. I like it. I like it. A lot. I
Thanks.
especially like the clock.
That's
That's
cool.
great. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll stay with us because when we come back, we are going to do an interior redesign.
AKA, we're gonna move things from one place to the other and call it a redesign.
Now, members of the Interior Arrangement and Design Association are going to show us how to give a contemporary entertainment room a new look simply by rearranging the furniture. Buying a new home can be very exciting, but how do you furnish your new home without spending a fortune? Well, we brought in interior rearrangers Marie Kinneman and Wendy Leppert, members of the Interior Arrangement and Design Association, to show us how to use your old furniture in a fresh, new way. Wendy and Marie interviewed the homeowner to find out what her particular goals were for the living room.
Jane, this is your formal living room, but I know your family has a lot of other uses for it. What do you and your family do in this room?
Well, the kids and I spend a lot of time in the room. The kids watch TV and play. My husband and I watch TV in the evenings, but we also like to use the room for entertaining when we have family and friends over.
Jane, the colors that you've chosen in the past have been rather safe, and I know you want to change that a little bit. What do you have in mind?
Well, we went through a period of the beige blahs. Everything was very neutral, and we'd like to bring out some more vibrant colors and add more color to the house.
Jane left for the day to allow Wendy and Marie to work their magic.
We're excited to come and work today in their beautiful new home. They have furniture from their old home that they're trying to incorporate into a new home that has vaulted ceilings and warm woods, but the color is white. They're still having the painter's white, so they want to introduce their own personality by using color, richer color, and by changing the arrangement of the furniture, we want to give them a whole new look, and so that they can enjoy their home and have it be a reflection of them.
The crew got to work by first removing all of the furnishings. Then, knickknacks and accessories were taken out of the room. Finally, a blank palette for the redesigners to work with. The sofa was angled to face two focal points, the fireplace and
What was the
entertainment
point of that
section.
banister?
Here's something you don't see very often, two identical chairs side by side.
Adding the second green chair
Is
that
there a
matches
step
this one
down?
adds extra seating for the TV viewer, as well as making a love seat.
By adding a floor lamp and an end table, this chair becomes a cozy reading area. Something is not quite right. There we go. A rug is always an easy way to add color and unity to a room.
Yeah, I'm calling it. There's a
Here's
TV
idea.
right
The
in that
redesigners
cabinet.
found this beautiful bench in the homeowner's yard. By placing it in front of the sofa, they have created a very unusual coffee table.
Oh, that's
This
smart of you.
was
Kick
created by
it, getting up
stacking
from
on
the
top of one another
couch.
these long and narrow pictures. And a tall ficus tree was added here to accentuate the height of the windows. And now here's the finished makeover. Bold color accents were used to liven up the older furniture, and this beautiful centerpiece becomes a focal point of the room.
It can be a difficult challenge.
I would
to
never
furniture
put
that was
a
bought for
concrete
different homes,
bench
and we're
in the
trying to make
middle
sure
of my
your
living
home has
room.
to make it work. We were
Are
able
you
to accomplish that
insane?
today by shopping throughout the home. We went into the bedrooms, the basement, and even outside to pull in what we needed. We were able to maximize the space for TV viewing, entertaining, and we even created a great corner for reading when no one wants to watch TV.
The homeowner could hardly believe it was the same room.
Oh, it looks fabulous.
Another great job by the members of the Interior Arrangement and
Really, I
Design
hope they cleaned off the
Association.
bottom. It's gonna have dirt and crap on the bottom of the rug.
For questions or comments, please write to Decorating Sense in care of 8. We're back in the kitchen part of our makeover with Courtney Yasmine and Melissa Kinney. You met her before. Melissa's going to give us a few hints on how to work with greenery and foliage. You had some great hints. We want to pass them on, like oak leaves. I'd be afraid that they'd kind of crumple up and dry up and blow away. Not so.
Okay, please explain to me how you're not going to do that.
Very well. They will dry. They turn a more sage color, but they hold their shape and they don't crumple. The texture of the leaf is thicker, and that's why they work.
Okay, and then you weren't working with grapevines today. You were working with something else.
I was using honeysuckle vine, and I use that because it's more pliable. Once grapevine has been taken off of a fence and rolled in a coil, it will not flex. You can't pull it apart, but
really
honeysuckle will pull apart, and you can work with it.
Okay, so the oak leaves are okay. I would still not recommend using live plants because of the aforementioned bug issue. I know a family member told me about one time when they were a kid, they brought in a little bug sack. Turns out the bugs were little praying mantis eggs. And when they hatched, there's 1 million of those little fuckers. So much so that they had to vacuum the baby praying mantis off of their curtains. There were that many. So, yeah, don't use real plants, use fake ones. No matter what the crazy ladies from the 80s say.
This that I've been playing with, it's so much fun. I would have gone for the hot glue gun, putting stuff together, but you say there's something that's better.
Well, I like using the glue pillows. It's a wood-based glue, and it adheres better, and you will find that your pieces will not fall off of whatever you're gluing onto.
Okay, where are we going to find that?
You can look in craft stores. You may not always find it in the pillow shape, but it comes in a pan also. And so just look for a pillow glue or a pan glue, and that should work.
Okay, great idea. Thank you so much. Everything turned out so beautifully.
I wonder if that's like a vintage kind of like contact cement,
For less. I'm Joan Stanton. Thank you for watching.
but like less toxic.
Hi, and welcome to Decorating Sense, the show that gives you great decorating ideas for a lot less. I'm Joan Steppen, and today we're going to be tackling 2 rooms in this house, a screened-in porch and a connecting dining room. We will create flow, elegance, and function in both rooms for under $500. That's right, we will be updating a bland 70s-style dining room with a floral theme to flow with the adjoining screened porch. On Trash to Treasure, find out how to turn a metal fireplace surround into your favorite icon holder. And we'll meet a homeowner who has given a 1917 condominium a 1940s traditional look on a dime. The homeowners have this wonderful secluded backyard and swimming pool, so this screened-in porch, as you might imagine, gets a lot of use. And it's got a lot of good things going for it, like the black wrought iron dining set, comfy futon. So keep this dark wood screen porch and the secluded backyard in mind, because we will be coming back here. But first we got a project to attend to in the dining room. This room serves as a passageway from the porch to the rest of the house, so ideally we would like this room to be very elegant with a great sense of flow, and right now we don't have elegance or flow, so we have to work on that. Plus, there's no color, there's no texture, and we have this really big mirror over here, a whole wall mirror that was really big in the 70s and creates that great sense of space, but right now it's just a little overwhelming. So we're going to do something to mask that off. The person with all the ideas is our mastermind, Nan Sloan.
Hi, Joan.
So nice to see you.
Good to see you.
So what are we going to do?
Well, here's the fabric that I found.
Great.
Isn't this beautiful? Yeah, and it's got this grapevine motif, and I'm going to use that to slip cover this furniture, which will just really update this dinette set. And this fabric, I mean, it's got the greens and the, you know, the colors from outside. It's just really bringing the outside into this room and getting it garden.
Okay.
But what about the mirror?
Well, the mirror is wonderful in terms of opening up the space, but I want to conceal a little bit of it, and I've got a lattice treatment that I'm going to use in front of the beveling that's going to update this mirror and also close down some of the just the expanse.
Yeah, and it's garden.
And it's garden,
Perfect.
absolutely.
So about the walls and the texture issue.
Well, you and I are going to have some fun. I have a chamois.
Okay.
And we are going to do a two-tone using the colors that we found.
Oh,
in the
no, we're
fabric.
not doing another
Chamois technique
freaking
to
rag
make
wash,
a
are we?
graceful finish on the walls. Perfect and fun.
Plus, some surprises out there in the screened in ports, and we're not going to tell you about right now. But she promises she is going to do both of these rooms for under $500. This small dining room needs help. The space feels flat and bland and doesn't flow well with the adjoining screen porch. The screen porch is more casual than we'd like, especially when contrasted against the dining room, intended for more formal use. And the elements in the dining room feel dated. The mirrored wall helps to expand the space, but the decorative bevels
That's a
cry out the
big-ass
70s.
mirror.
So, let's create some color and texture. We chose 2 hues of paint for the walls, a darker color called Tree Garden and a contrasting color called Wooded Path. Our base will be the deeper shade. Next, we dampened the chamois in water and dabbed on a generous amount in the lighter shade of green. Then we got started spotting the paint onto the wall. And voila! Texture, depth, and style in place of flat, colorless walls. Cost for 2 gallons of paint and a chamois, $45. Next challenge.
I don't hate it.
Mirrored wall. Our solution is twofold: to create more serving space and conceal the beveled mirror. First, we constructed floor-to-ceiling panels out of lattice and pine, which we placed over the bevels. Then we screwed the panels into the ceiling and walls.
Oh, there's the
Next, we
popcorn
added
ceiling.
A simple pine shelf painted the same color as the walls. If you have something big and reflective left over from the 70s in your dining room, this is a great solution, and it's really inexpensive. A nice way to update.
Well, we didn't spend a lot of money, and the mirror on the wall, I mean, that was a lot of money. We didn't want to remove it entirely. So
Right.
I think we have $65 covering up that bevel.
What is your deal with the bevel?
Yeah, you didn't like the 70s bevel, and I brought the lattice inside. It gives us that garden, and we have not permanently ruined this wall.
But when the bevels come back, you can take that off. And then
Exactly.
that'll be
Yeah,
good.
not a huge investment here, though, and now we have a wonderful surface for serving off of.
This is great. You can always use some extra space.
Yeah, and there isn't room for a buffet in this room, so we've got space now.
You're so smart.
Oh, thank you.
The resulting wall demands a beautiful reflection, so we provided it with ivy topiaries at a cost of only $35. Now for the other side of the room. We repositioned the matching cabinets in the corners opposite the mirrored wall for balance and height. Then we came up with an easy and inexpensive solution to update the look of the oak cabinets. We painted sheets of contact paper using the same green paint and chamois technique as was used for the walls.
They're not going to do what I think they're
Then,
going to do.
when paint dried, we simply adhered the contact paper over the mirrors inside the cabinets.
Why?
Our dated oak cabinets are transformed into beautiful
You
built-in,
just take the mirror
perfect for
out!
displaying the homeowner's things. The cost? $5 for contact paper.
Don't put contact
The
paper
chandelier,
over
the old
mirror!
brass fixture is too contemporary for our new look, so we replaced it with a new aged copper fixture at a cost of $40. Below, the oak dinette is a bit heavy and dated, so we minimized the wood by slip covering the chairs. The 2 armchairs were done in a soft floral fabric, accented with solid piping. We saved money by sewing these ourselves, but keep in mind you really must be an advanced seamstress to tackle a project such as this. Okay, why the beige damask instead of the pretty floral that you have on the armchairs?
Well, I like the floral in this room. It added a lot, but I didn't want to overwhelm this small space. You know, we talked about the size of this room and keeping the mirror to open it up. And I think 6 chairs would have just crowded it. And this is really, I think, a
Like they
much more
painted the
interesting look.
Yeah, and it's a great touch to have the piping.
Yeah, we
contact
did
paper the same
plain
color as the
fabric.
walls, so just
Very interesting.
take out the
Very
mirror
expensive. You
and
gotta
replace
do
it with
this
glass.
fabric warehouses,
I
right?
did, and you know, you dig around, and I got enough material for 6 chairs, $90.
Great transformation, small price, perfect.
Yeah.
A matching
Like, you're
table
ruining
runner helps break up the
the whole
dark oak
idea of a
tables,
curio
and
cabinet,
it's
'cause I
reversible
can't see the
to allow
other
for
side of
an
your
easy change from
curios.
Casual to more formal, depending upon the occasion. Total cost for 24 yards of fabric, $104. With the addition of the homeowner's dishes, the table is now ready for a dinner party.
I like those
Only
frogs.
a few more touches
It's a
and
good
this
frog.
room will be perfect. On the blank wall, we hung a coordinating botanical print for interest. And for our last project in this room, the sliding glass door. To coordinate with the connecting porch and the lattice buffet, we hung a simply constructed lattice valance. Softer cream fabric panels offer privacy and a wonderful walkway to the screened-in porch. Total cost for the window treatment, $30. This room is amazing. I can hardly believe that's the same dining room that we talked about this morning.
Doesn't it feel just like the garden room that we wanted? Yeah.
But remember, we promised you surprises in this room. I think these are them.
These are the surprises. Getting rid of some of this color. I mean, we want to bring the notch up a little out here. We want to make this room more sophisticated, kind of like that room. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so we are going to do that with these. We've
Right.
got some great sage and beige cushions. I love
Sage
them.
and beige, and there's a little bit of gray in there, and they really work.
All right, so question from chat: what's the difference between a valance and a nosegay? So I'll back it up. So a valance is a long thing over the entire length of a window. The nosegay was just that small thing. Let me see if I can pull up a picture. Oh, and actually, the definition of a nosegay is actually just a small flower bouquet. And because we're not in the 80s anymore, doesn't look like Google's gonna give me any kind of images. Sorry, chat. But yeah, the valance is the big thing over top of a window. A lot of times they're fabric, not solid wood like this. But a valance is kind of like a type of curtain. If people seem to have interest in this, I can do a separate stream talking about the weird words of interior design. But yeah, that's what a valance is. It's this thing.
The sliding glass door. To coordinate.
Garden room that we wanted. Yeah.
But remember, we promised you surprises in this room. I think these are them.
These are the surprises. Getting rid of some of this color. I mean, we want to bring the notch up a little out here. We want to make this room more sophisticated, kind of like that room. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so we are going to do that with these. We've
Right.
got some great sage and beige cushions. I love
Sage
them.
and beige, and there's a little bit of gray in there, and they really work beautifully with this black wrought iron set that we've got.
It's a notch up already.
Yeah, dressier.
The futon gets an easy transformation as well. We remove the bright western print cushions and simply unzip the forest green futon cover that doesn't go with our floral theme in order to make use of its more sophisticated black cotton covering. Brighten it with cushions in neutral tones and it now matches the more elegant dining set. And this room wouldn't really coordinate without at least one mirror, so we made a casual mirror out of an old window frame and lined it with black iron hooks to hold the all-important beach towels. And the final touch, we brought order to the disarray of these tucked-away cupboards by hanging salvaged side lights lined in sheer fabric to serve as doors. Oh, Nan, you have hit an impossible standard. 2 rooms for under $500?
$4.99?
$4.99?
I know.
You could have done a whole nother room for that dollar. This looks awesome.
I know, I love it.
Should we meet the family who's going to dine around this table?
Well, their opinion matters.
Okay, come on in here, guys. We have a Paul and a Julie and 2 Davids who are going to be eating around this table. What do you think?
Love it.
Really?
Absolutely.
It is not the same dining room.
It's not the same dining room. I love it.
You guys enjoy it, okay? And we should, you kick in the dollar, give them the dollar, they can redo their rooms with it. Let's take a look back at everything we've done in here.
I love the uncomfortable
Remember
looks
this
from the
stark,
kids.
flat dining room? Now there is depth, texture, and a wonderful garden style.
I love how the living room in the next room over is totally bland compared to that room.
The flow between the screened porch and dining room felt uninteresting and abrupt. Now the 2 rooms combine a casual feel with sophistication. The rooms are perfect for dinner parties and pool parties.
I wish they had closed off. I wish.
And pool parties.
I wish they had closed off this bottom part of the mirror. Having this counter space here in the middle of the mirror just it feels weird to me. Like, I know they didn't want to cover up the entire mirror, get rid of it, but it feels like weirdly divided.
It is time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to turn your garage sale finds into great furniture and accessories for your home. And today we are back at Sticks and Stones. It's a home furnishing store in Minneapolis. And we are trying desperately to understand what Rob Whitleff is going to do for us today. And we're not really sure, except it is to hold icons. He's going to explain the rest. Rob.
Hi.
Okay, I'm sorry. You are going to have to explain this to me.
Isn't this kind of fun? It's, yeah, okay, I know.
No, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's a shadow box, basically. It's kind of like an icon holder. It's basically a shadow box built to frame out whatever you're going to put inside of it.
Anything that you think is important, you need to call attention to, you put it in there.
You got it. That is exactly what it is.
What's it made of?
Well, what it's made out of is actually it's an old fireplace metal surround front of an old coal fireplace, and then we simply built a box behind it. So it's a very easy construction. Yeah, it's just a real easy piece to use. To show you what it's done here, it's actually just built out. We just put the boards together, tacked it on, and basically built again a box. It was then attached to the front just by a couple metals pieces latched to the front. And
painted out black so you really see, make that fireplace thing pop.
Yep, it really does.
Me,
the green is great. You know, these do come in a variety of colors. And
He didn't even bother to paint the sides of the inside.
Ooh,
If
another
we put
option.
in this, if we put in like an old cement urn, you know, that kind of a thing, that's just a great look. I mean, it really sets off. If you spend a lot of money on something of a really special piece and you want to make it really unique, just place it inside.
I'm going to give you a picture of me. Perhaps
That would be great. Yes, the shrine.
Just what you need, huh? How about this? Everybody needs a little extra bench around the house.
You know what? This is just a workman's bench. It's one of those simple, just carry around when you're doing a project. You need a little step stool. That's exactly what it looked like. It was gray. It had 1,000 coats of paint on it from all the projects that they probably used it for.
Yeah.
We simply painted it out in a really bright, fresh color, which was the yellow, and then did this simple plaid pattern on the top.
That was simple to do a plaid pattern?
It was very simple. You know, it's just really looking at, if you find a fabric you like, just sitting down and really copying it and seeing where, you know, the green is, where the blue is, and laying it out.
That's a good idea.
Very easy to do, but it's real fresh.
And you can buy at craft stores, you can get those little tiny stools for kids for really inexpensive, and they could, you know,
They could do
hand
this.
out
It's a
couple
great
of stools
project.
for them, yeah.
Yep.
Great idea. Now this one's an odd one.
This is a different one.
It is so cool though.
Yes.
It turned out really
They're
good.
running out of ideas.
I would never have thought of this.
This is just a great frame that we've created out of some old skis. And it's just a really fun frame. And we could use this for a mirror. You could have a mirror set in here. Or if you're an artist, if you staple in a canvas, you know, you could use this as your frame to then complete your work. I mean, it's just a really unique, fresh way of doing something.
And all you did was just to saw them?
Yep, we just literally sawed them, marked them off, sawed them so that we spaced in the right way, and then tacked them together with some simple screws.
We ruined these antique
It would be great in kind of a rustic lodge
skis.
setting. It would be really a fantastic piece.
I like it. I like everything.
Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you for
Good to
everything.
see ya.
It was nice to see you. And I hope you will stay with us because when we come back, we are going to go on a house tour that was done on a budget. The homeowner you're about to meet has decorated his home in a light 1940s traditional style, and he's been really creative in finding pieces to fit that style, finding many of his things in junk shops, even in the trash. This 1917 building has gone through many phases over the past 80 years and has recently been divided into individual condominiums. The homeowners in one of the units, Paul Binder and David Robertson, have taken their condo from the retro look introduced by the previous owners and transformed it into an eclectic 1940s style.
When we purchased this condo a year ago from my father, he had this condo painted in a dark burgundy red, dark gray ceilings, and he had painted the woodwork from a dark oak color to the white gloss. Our styles are completely different as he likes the heavy 30s look, and we have a lighter 40s traditional look. We chose an inexpensive yellow paint for the walls. We kept the ceilings gray and left the white woodwork. We transformed it into a brighter, sunnier looking place that worked well with our 1940s furnishings.
Virtually every item used to furnish their home was found at a flea market, auction, or junk shop. In the sunroom, a fainting couch was given new life with dark black upholstery. Behind it, a wall of built-in bookshelves offers a wonderful backdrop and the perfect place to introduce splashes of color with Van Bringle pottery, which they've patiently started collecting from auctions and estate sales.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Here's a tasteful and inexpensive idea for wall art. A clearance floor rug attached to a curtain rod with finials adds a touch of elegance to the walls without accruing expensive framing costs. In the living room, they have created more interest on the wall with a folding screen. The rectangular shape and dark colors of the screen help draw the eye away from the hard-to-conceal big screen TV in a camouflaging effect. The living room is filled.
I don't
with
think it's
eclectic
camouflaging
pieces
that
fit
big
well
ass
with their
TV and
1940s
anyway,
style at budget
but
prices.
sure.
Well, okay, 1930s in this case, but isn't it wonderful? They found this armoire at an antique shop and turned it into their front hall closet. It's gorgeous, whether the clock works or not.
This fireplace is one of the most significant pieces to our home, and it is not original to the construction. We wanted to have a fireplace in the house, but due to the expense and the fact that we could not obtain permits and codes, we had to do some hunting and came up with an alcohol burning fireplace. We found the mantle, which is a reproduction, which worked well with our woodwork, painted it white, installed it, put the whole thing together, and came in within the budget that we had set for the project, around $900, saving us several $1,000s, of which a gas fireplace would have cost originally.
They've decided upon simple pieces to adorn the mantle in order to keep the focus on the craftsmanship of the mantle itself. These charming silver Dansk figurines make a simple and humorous statement and were found on clearance for only $10 to $15 a piece. For window treatments, they chose small swinging rods and hung simple white shears to frame the windows with an ethereal quality. These matching 1940s chairs were a fantastic savings. One was found free on the side of the road, and the other was found a year later at an estate sale for only $7.
That's nifty.
To protect the hardwood floors and warm up the room, Paul has strewn a variety of oriental rugs in deep reds, blacks, and golds. Again, all were found for a fraction of the normal price. On the ceiling, Paul and David enhanced the elegance of the gray ceilings with beige stenciling. In the kitchen, they made some important changes to give a more traditional feel to a previously funky decor.
The kitchen in this house used to look like this. And my father decided to make a drastic change and have the funky feel with the rest of the house in the kitchen. He gutted the
Whoa,
kitchen
look at
and
that
added the
scrolling.
soffit around the top. did an extensive hunt and found wonderful 40 metal cabinets, finished the kitchen off with those, and then he finalized it with a dark gray paint. Although there was a lot of elements we liked, we still didn't like the main feel of the kitchen. So the first thing we did was we changed the color to a nice soft green. After that, we replaced the bright red kitchen sink with a soft white kitchen sink. This way we were able to change the kitchen, but not put a lot of money into it, and incorporate it more into our 40s feel, and something we felt flowed better with the rest of the house.
For questions or comments, please write to Decorating. We're back with designer Nan Sloan in our dining room makeover, and we are talking topiaries. We're talking inexpensive topiaries for a change.
Well, they can be really expensive to buy, and I think they added so much to this garden.
Very much so. So how are we going to do it?
Well, you can buy these things at a lot of the craft supply stores, and this particular one, this is a twig form. It's got the ball and the stem, and I've literally just wrapped a garland, a pre-made garland that has the lemon leaves, and the little lemon blossoms on there.
Boy, that's inexpensive.
Yeah, put it in some oasis, finish it with a little sheet moss, and
voila.
Voila, we have a lovely little topiary.
Now, how did you do this one? I know it's kind of a work in progress, but...
Right, well, and this is a different form that you can buy, and I'm going to pull it out of here, but it's a styrofoam base, the large ball, and then the smaller top. And well, you can just do that, but I just took pieces of ivy.
Okay.
And florist wire, cut little pieces, and just, bent them in half, about the size of a hairpin, and just stick it right in there. And then you just do the same with the fruit.
Okay, let's do that.
You could do that.
Okay.
You could do this with, pine cones, acorns, walnuts, nuts, anything that you would find, and really just kind of create a theme.
Yeah, making like topiaries and floral arrangements are super easy as long as you get like the foam and some wire.
Thank you.
And remember, with a little imagination, you can make your decorating dreams come true for less. I'm Joan Steffen. Thank you for watching.
It's just that floral foam can be a bit of a nightmare because if you dent it, it'll crumble, and it becomes a bit of a sensory nightmare.
Hi, and welcome to Decorating Sense, the show that gives you great decorating ideas for a lot less. I'm Joan Steffen, and today we're going to be making over a study in this duplex, which the homeowner uses as his main office. So our aim is to make it functional, stylish, and comfortable for the whole family to enjoy at the end of the day. And we will do it for under $500. That's right, we will be revamping an old, worn-out study, working with the aged elements in the room to bring function and style into the homeowner's office space. Then, on Trash to Treasure, find out how to turn an old TV cabinet into an attractive armoire. And meet a homeowner who has given a wonderful shabby chic look to her living room and dining room.
I wonder if shabby chic still means what it does now.
As you can see, the homeowners in this duplex have done a lot in the last few years to add some color into their lives, and especially in this room where they've painted the walls that deep sage green that really pulls everything together. Now pay attention to some of the details in this room, because we are going to be reworking some of them in the room we're going to do today, which is over there. It's a study, it's through the French doors, and we know it's our room because it's where the color stops and the drab begins. This room has not seen any decorating attention since the 1960s, and that would probably explain the flocked wallpaper. It's a little
Yo, that's sick.
When you think about it, this is a room where the homeowner spends all of his time. It's where he works. So that explains the fax machine and the copy machine and the cluttered desk. And that means that we need to leave this room.
Ew, look at those vinyl chairs.
But we want to add color and style to make it flow with the rest of the house, and just to make it a comfortable place to spend time when the workday's through. The person who's going to do all of that and more is interior designer Greg Walsh.
Hi,
so
Joan.
nice to see you. Magician. You are going to be a magician today.
We are going to use some tricks to make it happen.
What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to use the rug as a starting point for color on the walls and ceiling and fabrics.
Now, how are we going to paint walls? We've got blocked wallpaper.
We're going to put some gold paint on the walls, do something a little unconventional and paint right over it, get the color on there, and get the pattern to pop.
That is unconventional. Okay, and then we've got great fabric over here. Where's this going to go?
Oh, that's going to get crunchy.
You are not doing a slipcover for a desk.
You can slipcover anything.
Really?
So we'll show you how.
Well, it's great material. I'll wait to see on that one. And I know we have to do something with an entertainment center.
Yes, we're going to try to reproduce some of the old world charming details that are in the living room in here and get rid of this piece, but keep the function over there.
I can't wait. And we're going to do it all for under $500. This study functions as the homeowner's workplace, but as you can see, the clutter of the office has taken over much of the charm this room once had. The faded, stained 1960s flocked wallpaper enhances the room's worn, drab appearance.
You need to get rid of that white sofa. Jesus Christ.
Well, we aren't afraid of that problem. We will begin by painting the old flocked wallpaper gold. The color we chose for the walls is called Cortez gold. We diluted it with water, 1 part water, 1 part paint.
Okay, maybe it won't be
The diluted
crunchy.
mixture acts as a stain, as it highlights the texture of the flocked paper. Just look at the way the gold paint saved the old expensive flock paper from its demise. The color wash brings out the pattern and transforms it to look updated and elegant.
Huh.
Next up, the ceiling.
Something
We said we
something
wanted
yellow
the room to
wallpaper?
feel warm, so we will be painting the ceiling a deep red color called cinnabar. You know how much I love to paint ceilings. You know what? I was really kind of doubting you, though, about painting on the wallpaper and all that, but I think it turned out great.
Well, the red really helps cover up the cracks in the ceiling and the dirt.
There were a few of those cracks, too.
And it really helps separate the two planes, the ceiling plane and the wall plane.
Next up is that entertainment center we told you about. Our goal is to create the feel of a traditional built-in cabinet. So we constructed shelving and painted it the same off-white as was used for the trim in the room. For a more elaborate look, we glued architectural details to the top and topped
With
it
hot
a
glue.
finial found at a junk shop. Then we assembled the massive cabinet piece by piece. First, the top, adorned with tiny metal columns. And finally, the finished pediment. With all the building materials combined, we spent $105
Oh, the red
to create a
ceiling looks
wonderful
so
new focal
weird.
point for the room. Inside, we organized the homeowner's photos, books, and colorful accessories found throughout the house. Next, we brought back in the original Turkish rug, which coordinates well with the rich new color scheme. By rotating the rug 90 degrees from its original position, the eye is drawn on a path from windows to our new focal point, the TV cabinet. Next, we brought back in the all-essential desk, rotated around to face towards the center of the room. And yes, you can slipcover a desk. We spent $45 on fabric to bring elegance and color to a nondescript piece of furniture. Okay, I know I doubted you on this one, Greg, but I think this is a great idea. And it really is a pretty simple construction.
It is, and it's just a panel of fabric around and then the black on top. Did the black to just kind of have a nice clean work surface because it's a lot of pattern to actually work on all
Yeah,
day.
oh yeah, definitely. And you left the drawers open, which is
Yes.
always a good idea, so you can actually get to them.
Yeah, you really disguised the ugly part and turned it this way in the room so that,
Yeah.
you know, it's just a really nice, beautiful piece of furniture now.
Yeah, it's great, but we probably need some surface that would be easier to work on than this.
I'm going to do a piece of glass on top of there.
Good idea.
And that'll show the fabric through
Mm-hmm.
and give us a nice, clean surface.
And the whole thing kind of gives it a den-like feel. It doesn't feel so officey anymore.
Yeah, and it'll work nice
Because
with
it's facing the
really a
TV.
nice kind of backdrop.
You'll watch more TV than actually work.
Behind the chairs.
I like it. Cost for the glass top, $40. Then, at least for now, we cleaned up the once cluttered desktop with the homeowner's accessories and office things. And added matching urn-shaped lamps in keeping with the more traditional look of the room. Against the wall behind the desk, we brought in this old mahogany dresser found in the homeowner's spare bedroom to hold the necessary office pieces like a fax and a printer. On the wall above, we hung wooden shelves made from crown molding, which we painted to match the off-white trim in the room. Black and white photos taken by the homeowner's grandfather and framed in simple black frames offer a sophisticated look to complete the wall.
All right.
Now for the windows. We removed the vertical blinds and replaced them with drapes. First, we lined the windows with inexpensive sheer
Always a
fabric
good
hung
idea.
from tension rods. Then we used antique iron brackets that the homeowner had saved and hung panels of green wool adorned with gold bullion trim on the inside of either window for an opulent look. Total cost per fabric, $80. We carried the same off-white sheers over to the French doors to create more privacy from the living room and extend the softer look. Total cost for door sheers,
I don't know about the green curtains,
$35.
but sure.
In the corner next to the TV cabinet, we grouped together another black and white print and a plaster column topped with an urn-shaped planter. On the other side of the cabinet, we artfully arranged more of the homeowner's things to complete the impact of the wall. With impact in mind, we spent only $13 to purchase an additional mirror for this wall grouping, which adds dimension to the wall and helps expand the room. Next, the homeowners had 2 yellow chairs in another room. The mismatched color and size coordinate wonderfully together in their new location in front of the desk.
Oh, I like the ram's
last,
heads on that
above,
chair. That's
we
cool.
replaced the old light fixture, which didn't work with the new traditional style, with a rust-finished iron dome chandelier for better scale and warmth. This is an amazing transformation. Do you ever get, like, amazed at yourself what you've
It's
done?
amazing we can do it all in one day.
Oh, it is just a beautiful room.
Thanks. I think
Very
it really,
elegant.
yeah, it really turned out well. I mean, it pulls the feeling of the rest of the house in, and we addressed all the function issues. And
Yeah.
got our color. And
I'm amazed the homeowners even knew that this was the place to come to. What do you think? This is not the same room, is it?
This is amazing. What could have happened and outmatches the rest of the house.
This is Tim and Bruce, by the way, and crackers.
Crackers.
This room is gonna be great.
Really? Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. How much did you spend on it?
502.
But you know what? There's still something missing.
Yeah, I think, in a
What do you
space
think?
this formal, when you're working at home, I think, you're really going to need to have a tie to work in now.
To go with your bathrobe, baby. What do you think? Okay, well, he's
And
putting
the
on his
colors.
tie. Let's take a look back at everything we've done in this great office.
I think that was a Garcia
Remember
tie.
how worn out and drab this home office study looked like? Well, it now has the traditional warmth and elegance it deserves.
I don't think they needed to paint the ceilings. I think it would look
Before,
fine
the
without.
function of the room as a home office had overridden any attempts at a comfortable or charming study. Now, we have created a place comfortable for either a day spent working or a night entertaining or relaxing in front of the TV.
Thank God they got rid of that god-awful sofa.
It's time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to take your garage sale finds and turn them into wonderful furniture and accessories for your home. And today we're back at Sticks and Stones. It's a home furnishing store in Minneapolis. And the owner, Rob Whitlaff, is going to show us how to take an old TV cabinet from the 50s and turn it into a great armoire. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
What are you doing destroying television sets?
I know, can you believe it? Well, we actually don't even know what this was to start with. It was.
Oh, we don't know that it
no,
was a TV
I
cabinet?
think it may have been a radio cabinet too. I'm not exactly sure, but it very likely could have been an old TV set.
This is what it looked like.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's just this interesting old shape. What we decided to do is add these great shutters onto the front to kind of enclose it in. Put some really fun drawer pulls.
I love the drawer
Aren't the
pulls.
drawer
They
pulls
add
great?
so much.
And then we took out the old fabric that was on the bottom that was really kind of dingy and dark, and yeah,
Huh,
it definitely
it's
made
pretty.
it just look old.
He actually did a good job with this one.
This kind of off-white color, so it gives it a really great effect.
It's really fresh.
Yeah, so now it's something that, you know, you could store your TV in here if you wanted to. It puts it away, so it's something you could have like in a, even a little bit more formal room. Yeah. It's not like having your TV out. You can put a shelf in here and use it for storage for that, for CDs, stereo, whatever. And it's on wheels because it was probably, like you said, an old TV cabinet or an old, radio cabinet or something. So it's got a great visibility to being portable in different areas.
I like that. Tough to add doors like this?
You know, it really wasn't. It's the kind of thing you're going to go to a salvage yard and you need to go out with your measurements, find doors that are going to fit. You may need to cut them down a little bit, but we actually found these to size.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that great?
Lucky man.
Yeah.
And artistic. You've been stenciling.
Well, I've been stenciling. This is for you. These are all stenciled with the S for your last name. Right. Isn't that sweet,
so
huh?
nice.
Just an endearing guy. What we decided to do was go out, and these are actually just kind of like flea market fine glasses. They're all about $1 a piece, and we did a variety of them to really give you some different shapes. It'd be really fun to do kind of an odd, all wine glasses, all water glasses, but do them in different sizes and different shapes.
That
kind of,
would be fun.
Yeah, mix and match that. You can find them pretty easily. But what it's done with this is actually done with what's called an etching compound. And it's a fairly simple technique. What you do is, first what you're going to do is you're going to cut out basically a stencil. Now you're going to use like this vinyl contact adhesive.
Oh, etching is interesting.
You're going to cut out your stencil.
Craft that I've been intrigued by, but haven't had the
side there. You're going to take
confidence to actually try.
What you want. It could be an initial, it could be a smiley face, whatever. So what we're going to do is once we pull it off,
you don't have to make your own stencils. You can buy stencils.
Adhesive right onto here. This is actually the contact paper, and the S is in here. We're going to take the compound and simply with a fairly strong brush, just go up and down and back and forth. And you really can just glop this stuff on.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That is something you should be kind of careful with.
Be kind of careful with. You may definitely suggest wearing gloves while doing this. You're not doing just to show you, but there you go. But to give you an idea, you're going to go all the way over this, go back and forth, left and right, and up and down. After about 5 minutes, you're just going to take it to a sink, wash it off with normal tap water, and it's going to come out with a great little thing like this. As you can see here, you get what's left over is just a frosted S.
And I love, well, this isn't really an easel, but it's
not an easel. You know what this actually was from a hospital. A medical chart used to sit on the end.
Is that what that
at the end of the bed, yeah. And this is a fairly early piece, but you find them now in like stainless steel, things like that. But it makes a really great easel. I mean, it really is a very fun, easy kind of translation into something new, where probably would go.
Reminds me of the old
or it's a good practice stand.
Music sheet stands.
It is. It's a great practice.
They had
stand.
my
If you're
high
having
school.
A party, you have a guest book, you want to put it by the front door, put the guest book on here. It goes up and down. You can really vary the height, and you could paint it out if you didn't want this finish.
Yeah, and I do like the easel stuff because it is nice to change out your artwork from time to time. It's just so easy with the
Yep, it really is. It adds art to a room where you don't maybe have a wall.
Thanks for everything today.
Thank
This
you.
was fun, and I get a whole new set of glassware out of it
glass.
too. I hope you'll stay with us because when we come back, we're going to take a house tour on a budget. The homeowner you're about to meet has done some really special things in her new home. She has created a cheerful nursery for her daughter and transformed her white, boxy living room and dining room into her own version of shabby chic on a budget. From the exterior, this home resembles many of the others on this quiet suburban block. From the inside, however, new homeowners Leslie and Jim Hansen have infused style and personality into their home in a matter of months.
When we first moved in here, I was 7 months pregnant and had several months to sit around and look at the white walls and the wooden floors and decide what I could do to make this a warm, inviting room. We wanted to go for a European shabby chic look, so we picked really warm colors and interesting angles to the room.
Walls
if you look around, you'll see
look,
several arrangements
that
were, they look like
questionable.
they had placed and they weren't. There's a lot of attention to detail, right down to the angles of the picture frames.
The treatment Leslie did on the walls really helped to bring warmth and style to the boxy room.
Why would you?
She achieved the look by mixing 1 part paint with 1 part glaze, which she rolled on.
Why would you choose
off.
brown for that?
The earthy hue makes a great backdrop for Leslie's mix of furniture pieces, which she saved tons of money on by
Looks like
trading
you
with
smeared
friends
crap
and
all
family
over
to
it.
acquire. Here's an example. This gorgeous round side table
Monkey.
was a friend's. After months of admiring each other's things, Leslie and her friend decided to trade what they had and both felt like they had won. Below the table, Leslie has stacked old suitcases to create more of a layered look to her decor, which she found at garage and estate sales for only a few dollars a piece. This old leather chair was another freebie acquired on a trade from a friend. The scratches are authentic dog scratches, and Leslie loves the way they fit into her shabby chic room. In the dining room, Leslie has incorporated more of her
Yeah,
creative
sure. That's
tastes
what that
as
means,
well.
I guess.
This room was, again, very plain, very white, and we wanted to make it more romantic and comfortable, also to blend with the living room. So we started to dress it up a little bit, but I didn't have a dining room table. I had a beautiful antique chair that my sister-in-law envied, and she made me a switch, and I thought, great, now we have a dining room table, until I got a good look at it. The chairs were pretty ugly, and I didn't know what to do, so I slip-covered them to match the couch in the living room.
God, they love this
At the same
slip cover
time,
back
I was
then.
looking at the legs of the table, which were black lacquered wood, and I was sitting there hugely pregnant looking at these wood legs thinking, grabbed the gold rub and started rubbing gold on. My husband thought I was nuts, and then when it turned out, he loved it.
Leslie enriched the mood in the room with a deep mocha paint, which she applied to the walls and then added further depth with whimsical stencils, which she stamped randomly, adding her own creative touch with a gilded paint pen. This leopard print plant stand was at a garage sale for only $10. On top, she accessorized with stacked books and a flower pot, which serves as a candle holder. And here's a room with a style all its own, the nursery. On the
Oh my
walls,
God.
Leslie wanted to combine a blue sky effect with a bee theme. Her talented sister-in-law did all the painting, so the only cost was a few cans of paint. And as you can see, there is no shortage of things to stimulate a baby in this room. Here,
Yeah,
a
stimulated is
customized
definitely
chair
the
is a
right
fun
word.
and inexpensive addition, since Leslie decorated it herself by painting dragonflies, bees, caterpillars, butterflies, and ladybugs.
This room really needed some window treatments. So what I did, without replacing them, is take the old shade, a paintbrush, and acrylic paints, and I went for it. I just started painting shapes. I really liked the face I did. I didn't know what I was doing. You have to...
You can tell.
Like this. It's so fun to take a paintbrush and cover every surface of your house and just go for it because it's your house. You can do whatever you want.
That is good advice. If you own a house, paint whatever the fuck you
For
want.
questions or comments, please write to Decorating. We're back with designer Greg Walsh in our fabulous office, and we're going to be talking about a piece of furniture that, if I looked at it, I would not think that this was homemade, and I don't know that I would think I could do it. Can you break it down?
It's really not as complicated as it looks.
Really?
If you think of it as kind of cubes
Okay.
and planes, you know, these are just boxes, cube boxes on the side, then we dressed them up with a nice piece of millwork on the face,
So you
same
have
on
two
both ends.
boxes.
Yeah, 2 boxes. And then, you know, these are just, again, little planes or boxes as the shelves in there. And the crown, the top part of it, is just another box with some crown molding attached to another piece of trim. The finial on the top, the scrolling, and even the little details in here were all just parts and pieces, and just kind of assemble them into the whole of that, and then giving them a solid paint coat to blend it all together gives the illusion of much more detail and grandeur than reality.
That's a good word, grandeur. It really is substantial and grand and wonderful. It's just great. Thank you for today. It was wonderful.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. And remember, with a little imagination, you can make your decorating dreams come true for less. I'm Joan Steffen. Thank you for watching. Hi, and welcome to Decorating Sense, the show that gives you great decorating ideas for a lot less. I'm Joan Steffen, and today we're going inside this carriage house to make over a space that is rented by a young professional woman. Now, currently it's cluttered and it's kind of thrown together in a leftover dorm room style, but that will change, and we will change it for under $500. That's right, we will turn this chaos into a sophisticated one-room living space, which combines an area for sleeping, lounging, and working. In Trash to Treasure, find out how to turn a piece of vintage garden gate into a beautiful planter box for your window.
That's
Plus,
not
we'll
bad.
rearrange and redesign a living entertainment room with the flavor of the Southwest.
I have a hopeful feeling that this one's going to be relatively tame.
Today we're going to redo the bedroom of a young woman named Betsy who has rented this space since she graduated from college. But I got to tell you, she's received a few professional promotions recently and she's leading a little more sophisticated life. But you wouldn't know it from her bedroom. We really need to do something in there. We've got a lot of dorm room leftovers, and if you look at the bed, it's maybe just a little bit too girlish for that sophisticated look. And so we need to get a bigger bed in here too. And as you look around the room, you see that she's got really a lot of memorabilia in here, college and otherwise. And it's time to make some choices and declutter this space. And the woman who's going to do that, creating order out of chaos, is Courtney Esmine.
Hi, Joe.
Courtney. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
What do we do? How do we create
let's see.
order out of chaos?
Well, we want to use her workspace and keep that, but in a little bit fresher way.
Okay.
And we want to also have a sleeping and lounging area.
Okay.
As you say, we're going to be getting a new, bigger bed, but we will be using this original eggplant and floral that were on her old bed.
Oh, okay. That's
And then
pretty.
she also has purchased this new quilt, and we want to be able to use both and do a kind of a fun winter and summer switchover.
2 looks for $500.
Right,
What
right.
a deal.
We'll be unifying them with this yellow that's almost a mustard color for the walls. And then we'll be making a
Blondell.
really fun
Interesting word.
headboard and folding screen, both of which will switch over from the summer to the winter.
Wow, all of that? And decluttering too?
Yes.
For under $500. Yes, this room certainly needs attention. When you have a one-room living space, as this is, you really don't want the bed to be the focal point as you enter the room. The space needs to be divided to provide a sleeping and lounging area and a workspace. And Betsy needs a more sophisticated decor to match her professional status. So the first thing we'll do is take down the contact paper border.
Now, if she's renting this, was that put up by the owners or was that put up
Next,
by her?
the paint. This is the sophisticated color we'll cover the walls with. It's a deep yellow.
'Cause she doesn't own this.
On mustard. We loved our choice of color. The mustard yellow smoothed out the flaws in the old plaster. Next, we got busy nailing a painted picture rail around the perimeter of the room, about 5 inches down from the ceiling. Also called panel molding, the design features a round upper lip shaped to accommodate hooks. This picture rail comes ready-made at a building supply store. Later, we'll be dropping Betsy's pictures and mirror from ribbon like this. But now, it's time to reposition the furniture, creating 2 different room areas. First, we place the antique writing desk and chair here by the window. In this corner went Betsy's upholstered chair. Her green dresser found its original spot, and her pine dresser moved into this corner. Next, we angled her bed in this corner to create a dramatic sleeping nook. Then we attached a one-of-a-kind headboard to give Betsy's full-size bed presence. Now let's go back and see how this headboard was built. As you can see, we're outside in our workshop. Isn't this a great workshop?
It really is.
Yeah.
Fun to be out here.
We're going to tell you a little bit about how to put that headboard together, but I'm going to let you do it, okay?
All right, so this is our great headboard design that was very inexpensive, by the way. The wood part was about $28. We used 1x6s and jigsawed them at the top for kind of a camelback on this piece, and then added finials, which are easy to find at a woodworking place.
They're inexpensive and they really are worth a lot,
Yeah.
aren't they, as far as the design?
Yeah, I think they made it a lot more whimsical and fun.
But we've got a hole there.
Yes.
So we got to fill that with, it's actually a work in progress.
Yeah, this is still in progress, but we're upholstering both sides of this insert that will go inside. This is our winter look for our room.
But we're choosing today, we're going to do the summer look.
And this is the summer look.
That great?
And that's what we're going to be showing first.
What a great idea. And speaking of great ideas, we continued our reversible idea over to the window balances. This balance combines 2 fabrics in a unique pillowcase design, which allows us to easily flip them around. A design for summer and a design for winter. Our summer look is this, a small green check which unites our new room design in a neutral way. And our winter look is this, a very sophisticated taffeta plaid which brings in a deep eggplant color from the winter duvet. Now, next to this window, the built-in bookshelves add interest, but the clutter detracts from its beauty. So, we added painted louvered shutters to hide the messy mementos. Sometimes you just need a place where you can close off the mess. Above the closet door, Courtney got busy
I hate when they do that.
Painting.
I hate when they put doors on top of a cabinet so you don't see your stuff.
This freehand ivy vine complements our new design nicely.
Like, you have mementos, you're proud of them.
Next, to give the room
Like,
versatility
display
and
them.
panache, we made an upholstered privacy screen out of 3 hinged bifold doors. We used the same 2 fabrics from our window valances and trimmed the screen with yellow ribbon. Not only will this screen camouflage a pile of clutter, it also provides a changing area when guests are present. I love this screen. That's great, and it's something that is reversible.
It really is reversible, and I think this side is so pretty too, don't you? I can't wait to show the other side.
You are getting into this reversible thing. Now we've got the chair we're going to make reversible too, right?
We have 2 fabrics for our summer and for our winter theme, and the winter
You don't need
one
a
is what we're
slip
gonna
cover
put on
that.
now.
It's pretty.
This is just leftover fabric, and since we have it, we've decided we're going to cover the chair that really wasn't in very good condition, and it can easily be tucked in and then replaced for the other season.
I love that because it's something you can really do simply, quickly, easily. I love it. And this would be the summer look.
Right.
Okay, all we have left now are the accessories, and then we're going to replace them in a sparsely discerning way. That's Courtney's line. Keep in mind the phrase sparsely discerning way. From the picture rail, we hung Betsy's prints and mirror from brass hooks and green satin ribbon. We let the pieces drop to within 12 inches of the furniture for added visual appeal. Displaying inexpensive pieces this way gives us a more custom look. Next, we added new, inexpensive shades to the old lamps. And we grouped only Betsy's prettiest things by color and scheme.
Who are you to say what her pretty things are?
And we're done. And now it's the moment of truth when we actually find out if Betsy, do you like what we've done in your bedroom?
I love it.
Really?
I do.
So is it what you expected?
A little bit. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect with the white walls turning into yellow, and I love it though.
It's so fresh and so organized.
She hates it. I can tell she hates
the room
it.
bigger, I think, and really pretty, and we did it for $442, partly because so much of it we made ourselves.
You say, Betsy, you're cheated. We owe you, but that's okay. It looks fabulous. And as Betsy takes a look around her new room, let's take a look back at everything we've done in here. Oh, you remember, the bed used to be the focal point as you entered the room. This space not only needed a more sophisticated decor, it needed organization. Now, it is definitely a room for a young professional.
Oh, it's so dark in there.
Divided to provide a workspace and a sleeping and lounging area. The room has 2 different seasonal looks, a summer design and a winter design.
The yellow walls made it so much darker.
It's now a 1-room living space which matches Betsy's new professional status.
Trying to hold in a sneeze. Should have taken some Claritin.
It's time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to turn your garage sale finds into great furniture and accessories for your home. And today we are back at Sticks and Stones. It's a home furnishing store in Minneapolis. And the owner, Rob Whitlaff, is going to show us how to take a salvaged piece of an old iron gate and turn it into a charming window planter box. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
I love those old wrought iron gates.
Aren't they great?
Yes, but they're kind of hard to find inexpensive.
They
these
are.
days.
You know, it's one of those things you really got to keep your eye open, but they do turn up. You know, you may find it at a garage sale. It's been sitting in someone's backyard. Salvage yards are actually fairly good because they do get them in a variety of sizes. And, you know, some of them are really historically very valuable, so they're going to be much more inflated in pricing. But some of them are just really great and decorative.
And when you do find them, make use of them because they add so much.
Yeah, what we've done on this piece here is simply created a great little planter box. And it's a very easy construction. We've simply built this little box here, painted it out in this great green color, which is really fresh and exciting. And then as you can see over there, we added a small metal strapping. And the screw and just goes right around the back and attaches this actually onto the piece.
That's not a life hack.
It's fairly heavy.
If you're just
So
taking
set it like on a step. You
the
could actually
thing
use
and
one
putting
wall
a
to the
box
interior.
on it and calling it a planter box.
Really big, big, big one.
It's a great look, though. I
Isn't
like
it
that
great?
very much. Ooh, that is heavy. Okay. Oh, I hope you guys are noticing. Isn't that a great
Isn't it a great
tabletop?
table?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we've got a before picture actually of what we've done.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Now the table was really inexpensive, but had some really interesting lines. Had great legs. The top was kind of a veneered old brown, fairly ugly. So what we decided to do is create this great kind of marbleized look.
Oh, it's
And
crazy.
this is actually like what's called like a drift marble. And it's just a real simple technique. So what we're going to do is show you how to do it.
Okay.
And
So
Oh,
the
it's a
first thing
faux
you do is
marble.
paint
That's
out a
interesting.
surface completely white.
you got it. You're going to paint out the base surface completely white, and then we're going to use a simple variety of elements. We're going to use an acrylic paint, and we're going to mix that with a glaze and also some water. So it's basically 1, 1, and 1 of each of those pieces.
Okay.
So what you do is you're going to want to get a feather like this at any specialty painting store. And then what you do is simply start dabbing this on, blotting it in.
You're going in one direction.
Going in one direction, yep. And you can put it on fairly thick. And you come back over this
A
with
feather?
the darker color paints. We're going to go with the gray there and really blot it in there pretty well.
You want more than that?
A little bit more.
Okay.
Great. Now what you do is you take a simple piece of cheesecloth, and by taking this, you're simply just going to dab across, and you start getting some of the marbleizing.
More gray
effect.
paint.
More gray paint. More gray paint. More gray paint. We need help. Yeah. So you know you can see the effect start to begin here.
And as with real marble, no two pieces are exactly alike.
You got it. It's really not going to end up exactly alike. And depending on how much of the dark and light you put in, it really is going to change.
Let's take a look at this. Is what it is going to end up looking like.
Isn't that fantastic? And the thing to remember on this is that the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So it's maybe something you want to start on a small piece and really expand.
Were you commenting on my technique?
I was not commenting on anybody's technique.
You might want to do a polyurethane on top of this too to protect the finish.
To perfect the finish.
If you get it right.
Yep.
Now how about this footstool here?
Isn't
What have
this
you been
fun?
doing there? Yeah,
It's just a really simple, easy little technique. Basically what we've done is creating some old legs and a top and putting them together and coming up with a footstool.
Okay,
So
where'd you
yeah,
get the legs?
really
What-
simple. The legs were found at a salvage yard, and actually these two front ones here I think came off of probably a chair or maybe a china cabinet. The back one down here actually came off of probably an old just painted table.
So you didn't luck out and have them all the same size?
No,
You-
these two are the same size, and then we actually cut this one back here to size. And what we've done is simply attach these. If you want to put these actually on a piece of plywood, and what we've done is taken the fabric and just stapled it around the edge here. So it's a real simple thing. We added in some batting here to give it a little bit of roundness. We've done the same thing with the tops. So as you can see, we just simply took a piece of plywood and did the same staple and the batting, and it gives you a really great kind of full look. So by adding the two together, now we would actually just simply drill right through the bottom to attach the two. You've got a great little, just kind of dramatic footstool.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing if you want to create a rectangular one, something in a bigger size or something like that. But the concept is the same.
Yep, the concept is the same. Really, you just look for legs, and you can put mix and match legs together and make a great piece.
I like that. I liked everything. Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Rod. I hope you'll stay with us because when we come back, we're going to be doing an interior redesign.
Those are stupid DIYs. There's an easier way to paint faux marble than
Now,
with
members
a
of the Interior
feather.
Arrangement and Design Association are going to show us how to give a living room entertainment room an entirely new look simply by rearranging the furniture. A theme room can be very fun and interesting, but how do you give it a new look without spending a fortune on changing the entire concept? Well, today we brought in Marie Kinneman and Wendy Leppert, interior rearrangers and members of the Interior Arrangement and Design Association, to show us how to update this family room without losing the flavor of the Southwest.
We're working in the family room today, which is the homeowner's favorite room, and it's decorated in a Southwest theme, which she's had for about 10 years. We want to update the look a little bit by bringing in some of the variety of different things from the other rooms. We want to give it a different feel, keep the flavor of the Southwest, make it more eclectic.
The flavor of the Southwest.
Not have it shout theme.
Makes me want Taco Bell.
The homeowner has some wonderful collections in this room. The problem
That is
that a
like
lot of them are
vintage
small.
Taco Bell.
We want to vary that a little bit, put some things up on heights, and group them together to make more impact. Lighting is one of the most important elements in a room, and we have track lights in this room which can be very harsh from above if they're not on dimmers. We're going to bring in some more floor lamps and table lamps, and the best lighting is when you have it from below, the middle, and the top.
The crew got to work by first clearing out the entire room, leaving only the larger pieces to work with.
It's important to have a clean palette before you begin a rearrangement. You want to remove the smallest pieces of furniture, you want to remove your artwork and all your little accessories, and you want to keep only the largest pieces left, your entertainment center, your sofa. Then you can begin the process of putting the room back together. It's quite like a puzzle, and now you just have a few pieces to begin.
After arranging the main seating area, it was time to accessorize. Now how can our redesigners add some interest to this small corner without making it feel cluttered? There we go, a cozy reading area. It's functional and adds character to the room.
I hate when they put
Next,
the
Wendy
pictures
and Marie
so
gathered
far
all of the homeowners' collectibles
down
and created
that they're
this
like next to the
beautiful
floor.
arrangement.
Keep in mind a collection is two or more of any one thing. The secret to grouping
No,
collections
really?
is to use theme, color, and size. Start by grouping the small things in the front, graduating up to the taller things in back. Also, a zigzag pattern is helpful if you'll start with high on the right, moving down to high on the left, and so on.
Now don't put your tall things in front of your small things. You won't
And
be able to
now,
see them.
Here's the finished makeover. The Southwest theme has been updated by introducing new colors and texture. Color balance was achieved by contrasting the Southwest colors with this black lampshade and adding bolder tones with rich wood and brass.
Today our goal was to keep the flavor of the Southwest by using her accessories and her artwork, but enrich the palette by adding black and other accents such as glass and metal. Track lighting alone in this room was harsh, so we wanted to add some lamps to soften the edges. Also, little lights inside an etagere can highlight your art collection.
We found this cane in the closet. It has sentimental value to the homeowner. You wouldn't ordinarily think of using it as an accessory, but it worked quite well in the room.
Another great job by the members of the Interior Arrangement and Design Association.
I wonder if that association still exists.
For questions or comments, please write to Decorate. Sure to include the episode number and your daytime phone number. As I said off the top of the show, Courtney is not happy to do one makeover for $500. She does two makeovers for $442. All this reversible stuff is so cool.
Yeah, I really like it a lot, and I think in this room, in such a small room, it just gave it so much more impact, don't you think?
And somebody like me, I love to have things that you can change. This is awesome.
Right, right. This screen was relatively simple to make and certainly inexpensive. The panels that are underneath could be anything you get at a woodworking place, a lumber
border around it looks like it's been like really crappily done.
And then they're covered with batting, and you can use any thickness. You know, ours is sort of just a medium thickness batting.
You can make it really cushy if you wanted to.
Right, you could make them poofy if you wanted to. And it's just staple gun with the edges folded down on both sides. And then to cover the staples, we use this yellow ribbon that I glue gunned myself, and I have never used a glue gun in my life.
Yeah, I can tell.
You're very proud of yourself, aren't you? You did a very nice job.
Thank
Courtney.
you.
And then the same treatment on the windows.
Yeah, this valance is a very simple thing to make yourself. You do it as a pillowcase, and then add the 2 seams that the rod goes through this opening. So you just have a simple rectangle that can be reversed easily to either side.
And that's so fun to do.
Yeah, it's just a simple seam.
Summer to winter. And one last look. Summer, winter. Isn't that cool? Thank you so much for today. It was fun. And remember, with a little imagination, you can make your decorating dreams come true for less. I'm Joan Steffen. Thank you for watching.
I want to play a couple specific ones. So might wrong 2 season space. Yes, this is
Hi,
the
and
one I
welcome
want.
to Decorating Sense, the show that gives you great decorating ideas for a lot less. I'm Joan Steffen. And today we're going inside this house. We're going to add some character to a lower level bathroom. We are going to combine rustic elements and polished accessories for a real personalized look. And we will do it for under $500. That's right, we'll create a cabin-y feel in a windowless lower level bathroom using a combination of natural and polished elements. Then in Trash to Treasure, find out how to make a corner table out of scrap granite and iron pipes. And we'll meet a homeowner who has gathered things from around the world to give her house an international flair on a budget. Today we're in the lower level of a house, and have you guessed yet? There are children here, and it's actually their bathroom we're going to be doing today. So it needs to be functional, and it is that. It's got the toilet and the shower and the sink, but it really doesn't go much beyond that. Plus, add to it, it has to be the guest bathroom because it adjoins the guest bedroom. So we don't want to be too casual. Don't want it to be too childish. We want it to be polished, and we need to have it answer the needs of the children and the needs of the important house guests, one of whom is in there right now, I think, my friend Nancy Gold.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
It's nice
Oh,
to
I'm
see
glad I
you
picked
and
this
your
one.
plants. What are you doing with that?
Nancy is
Well, we don't have to paint
always
this bathroom.
insane.
I know, I'm really happy. So what we're going to do is add some interesting texture and color to the walls without painting them directly. We're
Okay.
going to paint these leaves.
Okay.
This is an experiment, Joni, bear with me. Okay, because we're going to do white on here and then singularly attach the leaves to the walls to give texture and effect and make it more rustic.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I've got that.
I don't have it. I
Okay.
hope you have
Okay.
it.
I look forward to seeing how
And
that
then the
turns out.
color palette of the room is going to be based on this palette. The walls are already taupe or khaki.
And you like that?
I like it a lot. And when I found these towels, I liked bringing in the blues and white. Pure white is going to be my accent color.
That's going to be a great clean look in here.
Yeah, and it has to combine the both spaces, like you said. So that's the challenge, and I'm going to bring rustic and dressy together.
You've got way too many challenges here today, but I know you'll do it, and she will do it for under $500. This lower level bathroom is used as both the children's bathroom and a guest bathroom. The room is functional, yet doesn't have the character that the homeowners would like for house guests. So let's add character. As we said, we love the existing khaki color on the walls, so our work today will not involve paint. But to add dimension, we came up with a fun idea. We will use picket fencing on the walls.
What?
First, we measured and cut the fencing down to fit the length of the wall on either side of the sink. Then we lined it up with the edge of the sink a few feet up from the ground. The new picket fence border lends a rustic outdoor feel to the bathroom at a total cost of only $40.
For why, though?
And you know us, we love the extra touches, so next, we adorned the points of the pickets with small wall hooks screwed right into the fencing. The hooks cost a total of $16 and become the perfect place to hang new plaid towels and the children's tiny clothes. Our next project, windows. The bathroom is large, but there aren't any windows to open up the space. So we brought in old window frames left in their original peeling condition.
Oh, that's cute.
And filled them with enlarged outdoor photos of the children.
Nancy, this is the sweetest, cutest idea. I just love this.
I love it too. I just love it.
Why'd you come up with it?
Well, first of all, you know there's no windows down here. And I wanted to have the sense that we were looking outside. And so then I wanted, because the homeowner has these two little adorable children, I wanted them in the picture rather than just something else. And when I found these old windows, I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to dress these kids up dressy, so that's the dressy.
Right. Oh, I get it.
And then we're going to put them in old
Yeah.
rustic frames.
There's the rustic.
Yes, yes. And so this is the look of being outside, inside, dressy, rustic. What do you think?
You did it.
Thanks.
Next, we addressed the vanity. We removed a mirror from an old antique dresser to hang above the sink. This is what the mirror looked like before we got our hands on it. With a new white coat of paint,
Oh, it
it
looks
brings
nice with the fresh
freshness
coat of
and
paint.
focus to the sink.
Usually
It
I'm
cost
opposed to that.
$62.
But actually, it's not bad.
We lined the shelf below with rustic bathroom accessories like a wire basket, a terracotta pot for toothbrushes, a tiny topiary, and picture frames. Then, to tie the vanity into our color scheme, we replaced the existing hardware with elegant blue and white porcelain knobs. Then we moved out to the garage to work on the next addition to the bathroom, an old cabinet. This is what it looked like before we began. First, we raised it up with bun feet screwed into the bottom. Then, we replaced the old broken glass in the doors with chicken wire staple gunned into place. The spruced up cabinet is the perfect solution to the extra storage this bathroom needed. And one final rustic touch. We glued decorative birch bark ribbon to the front of the shelving. Total cost for our rejuvenated and rustic
I wouldn't have
cover,
done that. I would have left that
$23.
as
Then
is,
we
but
filled it with
sure.
bathroom items and accessories. Okay, I'm catching on to this. Okay, you got the rustic. I got that with the chicken wire.
Right.
And then the polish with the grape.
With the porcelain. The whole point of this thing is if you have porcelain and dressy and you have rustic, the two of them together make the other one more important. So if it were all rustic, it would be like a blur, and you wouldn't have the impact of having this one porcelain shiny piece up here if there were 6 of them.
Is that
But
one of
this
those
makes this
gel
even more
candles?
dressy, and this
Oh,
makes
dude.
this more rustic.
Those were the biggest temptation as a child.
That's exactly right. So I've got all these different things kind of playing off each other. I've got ticking with the toweling, with dressy porcelain pieces. And then I've got fine, expensive bath products with, again, the birch and the real raw and rustic. And chicken wire.
And I love the birch ribbon.
Isn't this great? This was from a floral supply place, and I just loved it, and it works so great. You could wrap packages in it with whatever you have left over.
Isn't that true? And just about any style of ribbon that you wanted to use for whatever style of room you wanted.
Exactly. I mean, this could be a gingham, and this could be just a ticking. It could be anything you want. It could have little fringes on it if you wanted to do it dressier.
Nice touch.
Thanks.
I like it. Next, we began our experiment with the silk leaves. We'll be working with spray paint, which should be used in a well-ventilated space, so we moved back to the garage to spray paint the leaves white with a little bit of green peeking through. Next, we used a hot glue gun to adhere the leaves to the walls and window panes. The random process is the only way to go with this project. And the subtle white contrasts well against the khaki walls, helping to further enhance the outdoor theme. Little change in plan here, right? We're just going to do like the 3 at a time leaves around the window?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to originally put them all around the room, and I got nervous about that. Remember, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And now I'm convinced that I'm going to treat it like a window treatment instead of a wall treatment.
Right, I love that because it just accents the wonderful things in here.
Well, there are wall coverings that are made out of leaves, and they go up on the whole wall, and they're like thick, 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 and they're very expensive.
Yeah.
And if I were to start doing that, I'd be 97 before I finish. So this way, I like the idea that this is the window to the outside, and now it has leaves because it's looking outside.
It's great, I love it.
Thanks,
it's just perfect.
Joni.
No.
Total cost
No,
adds subtle
I
texture
mean,
to the walls and windows, only $5.
the good news is that it's
With decorative
hot
leaves
glued
the
on,
walls,
so
all we
theoretically
need
it could
is a
peel
tree.
it off real easy.
So we made a clothes rack out of an old birch tree branch. And voila, a wonderful place to hang more clothes and accessories. What could be cheaper than birch branches gathered from outside, right? We liked the idea so much that we used more birch branches nailed together like a primitive ladder to serve as a magazine holder. And we are not done with birch branches yet. The last functional touch is a birch bark toilet paper holder nailed directly into the cabinet. The only thing left is
That's
a cozy blue
redneck
white
as
striped
fuck.
rag rug, which ties the room's color scheme together and is wonderfully cozy for little bare feet. I told you there were children in this house. This is Samantha and Ben, and they brought their parents along. This is Jennifer and Richard Ezralove. So?
It's fabulous. What do you think? You can take a shower in here?
She's going to take her time to think about
You
what
like
she
it,
thinks.
Ben? You like it?
I
Say yes, Ben.
I especially love the pictures of
I
her.
love it.
Well, we won't make
Say,
content.
Mommy loves it.
I love it. I think it's just
great.
fabulous.
Thanks,
How much
guys.
did we spend in here?
$4.98.
Was it because
You're
you
under.
sawed down the trees in the backyard, right?
That's exactly right. We made our own toilet paper holder.
It's awesome. Let's take a look back at everything we've done in this great bathroom.
That little
Remember
girl's a
this
brat.
plain, functional bathroom? It is now transformed with rustic charm and character. Before, the windowless room felt cold and uninteresting. Now, it has an outdoor cabin.
Calling it
feel
now.
perfect for
Those
guests
little
to
kids
use
peeled off
and
those
visit.
plants. They didn't last a day.
It's time for Trash to Treasure. That's where we show you how to take your garage sale finds and turn them into wonderful furniture and accessories for your home. And today we are in Sticks and Stones. It's a home furnishing store in Minneapolis. And the owner, our friend Rob Whitleff, is going to show us how to make a unique corner table using scrap granite and iron pipes. Rob, I am so excited.
You are.
Now I know what to do with all that spare granite sitting around my house.
You got it. Spare granite and marble.
So how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, you know what we did was we went to a reuse it center and found these scrap pieces of marble and granite, basically.
You can often find it?
You can. It's really bizarre, but they come out of like old buildings, old flooring, and they they chip them up in these odd shapes. And these were about $7 a piece, actually.
Wow.
This entire project was around $30.
It's got a very elegant, expensive look.
Yeah, it
though.
doesn't have a great look. It's a really expensive look. How we created this basically was we got some iron tubing, like you're seeing here. And this is something you're going to buy at a hardware store. It's already pre-made, and it actually already has the threads on it. So you're basically just buying the pieces that are going to fit your table. So you're going to figure out how high you want the table.
Okay.
How how much weight basically is going to be
Yeah,
supported.
the expensive
Buy the
part
pieces
is getting the
and that.
granite.
Screw it in, and we put this on a platform off the top. Now you could just put this right on the floor and have this as a one level. You could add a third level onto this. It really kind of depends on what your needs are and what you find too.
I would imagine it may take you a while to balance it out, to make sure you've got it screwed in just the right amount so it doesn't
it's going to be a little time consuming to make sure you get the threading right, but in terms of actually the cost factor on it, it's very low. And it gives you a really great look.
It is a great look. I like that very much. But I have no idea what this is.
Well, what we've got here, hold it this way, we've got a great shelf. This is actually, it's really a very simple construction. This is an old piece of tin. This is actually a cornice piece that went around the edging of the top.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a flat piece of tin. It actually has this ridge already. And if we turn it this way, what you can see is we basically created like an L, a normal shelf. We filled it in here with this piece. So it's basically like creating an interesting shelf. and then tacking onto the front this great piece of tin.
What a great
So-
shelf that would be, too. That
Yeah.
has so much interest to her.
Yeah, and because it's solid all the way around, it gives you, some nice weight to it. So it really, you could put some larger objects on here. You could put some large glass bottles or pottery pieces or whatever, and the weight would feel right. The shelf would not feel too light visually.
Yeah, I like this. I'm thinking about my room. I would love to have in kind of a cream-colored, maybe with some distressing on it.
Yep, that's what's great. And this tin does take paint very well, so you could really create this in any way you wanted to.
I like that idea. That's very
Yeah,
cool.
something fun,
And now
different.
you have been longing to go back to school. Is that the deal with
I've
this?
been longing to go back to school. Well, I thought something really easy to do and really fun is blackboards. I love old
Chalk
blackboards,
paint.
but you can't find the old kind that were like in a schoolhouse. So we kind of recreated that using what this is actually is old oak molding off of the house, like a floor or a ceiling molding going around a doorway, and then a painted molding here, which actually has its own ridge, as you can see, which holds the chalk.
Do I get to write on this?
You can write on it, yep. And what we've done is actually done this with a blackboard paint, which you can use, or you can also spray paint a board black and then poly coat over the top of it. Isn't that great? And it works out. Then you just simply take a little wet cloth and wipe it off.
I like that very much. And you know what? I miss blackboards because in schools they have a lot of whiteboards now. And
They
it's
do.
just not the same.
Yeah, it just has a great nostalgic feel and it goes anywhere in a house.
And it didn't make that squeaky noise that I like so.
Yeah, well.
Good job. Thanks.
Thanks.
Nice to see you
Good
again.
to see you.
And when we come back, we are going to be taking a tour of a 50s style house done on a budget. The homeowner you're about to meet has decorated her home with an international flair. Let's meet her. The exterior of this 1950s Rambler offers a mere glimpse of the personality that was infused into it by the homeowners when they moved in. Kelly Burns has mixed her travels into her decorating scheme to create an eclectic home with an international flair.
I've tried to decorate my home with an international flavor. My husband's from Iran and my daughter we adopted from China. We've used the bright red and yellow in this room to bring an oriental feel here. I've traveled extensively, so a lot of the accessories are from my travels. The wall hangings we brought back from China when we adopted our daughter. We've got many accessories on the mantle here that are from China and from Iran, as is the tea set that sits on the coffee table.
Cost savings abound in Kelly's unique and creative home. She has artfully layered faux furs, carpet remnants, and accessories to create impact at very
bold
minimal cost.
paint choice.
Here, Kelly tied the reds of the wall in with this rich red rug. She saved hundreds of dollars by purchasing a carpet remnant and having the edges bound, bringing the cost down to under $200. Faux animal furs casually strewn over the back of the love seat and on the ground bring a rich, exotic look to the traditional leather furniture. This fireplace mantle is another cost-saving project. Kelly wanted to bring more impact to the original black fireplace, so she designed an oak mantle using scrap wood to create an interesting focal point. Above, she saved hundreds on the cost of a new mirror by restoring an old, chipped bathroom mirror. She used crown molding around the edges and sponge painted it gold and red to coordinate
Looks like
with the
blood
room.
splatter.
And here's a really special idea. Kelly designed her own dining table around garden stones chiseled with Chinese words meaning happiness, peace, longevity, and prosperity. The tabletop rests on a base that is simply an old file cabinet draped with a piece of fabric she got while in India. Above, a wonderful wrought iron chandelier dripping
That's
with
amazing.
emerald-colored beads completes the elegant look of the dining room. Now take a look at the cost-saving ideas in Kelly's kitchen.
This house is your typical 1950s Rambler. It had a small, dark kitchen. And just by doing a few things, opening up the doorways on either end here, you can see from these pictures, and painting the cupboards white and the appliances, we have just opened this up like crazy. We've had people come in and think it's an entirely different kitchen and house altogether.
That's impressive.
Kelly rejuvenated the old 1950s elements in her kitchen herself and saved thousands of dollars on expensive remodeling costs. Old corner shelves got a facelift with simple wood-framed doors filled with inexpensive chicken wire. Here
I don't
she
understand
rejuvenated
the
old
obsession
kitchen
with
stove
chicken wire
paint,
back in the
using
80s.
bronze spray paint to pop out the hood and mixing green, tan, and white on the panels for a marbleized effect to tie in with the green countertop.
This countertop I'm especially proud of. It's right here off the kitchen, and in order to have a place for seating, I decided to bring it out a little bit. Bought these bar stools here from a garage sale. Laid this tile and trimmed it up, and now I have a place to serve people
that's
and
really
talk
good.
to while I'm inside being a short order
Good,
cook.
good job with that.
Kelly used the same saltillo tiles for the floor, which helps to expand the space from the kitchen to the eating area and family room. On the soffit above, she stenciled a blessing for her home, which reads, "Where there is great love, there are always miracles."
Aw,
and here's
sweet.
one more room you won't want to miss.
I turned this room into a family room. It used to be a porch off the eating area and kitchen here. There used to be a big support wall here, as you can see in the picture, that we had completely knocked out. And then we took some of the green that was in the eating area and the kitchen and brought it in here kind of to tie the whole thing together. Some things that are really special
Wow,
to me are the
really good
furniture in here
job
was
with
my
that
parents'
extension.
first set when they got married back in the early 50s, and then the leather here my husband's family sent from Iran, so I had the cushions covered in that. As you can see, my decorating style is really made or done with things that really mean a lot to me. The countries that I've traveled, the countries my husband and child are from, and it really makes this place feel like home.
Aw, it's adorable.
For questions or comments, please write to Decorating Sense. And be sure to include the episode number and your daytime phone number. We're back in our forest makeover with designer Nancy Golden, who can do just about anything with branches because they're inexpensive.
For inexpensive, this is free, Jody. You can go outside and you can cut down any kind of a branch and create a little clothes rack for
Ask
free.
first.
Yeah, I would ask first. But the whole beauty of this is because it's wood, let's say you're doing a children's room and you don't want to use the birch, you don't want it this rustic.
Right.
You can lacquer this in a hot pink or a purple or anything, and it would be so darling. Or even in an entry, if you want kind of an interesting shape,
You can take a branch and paint it anything.
Yeah, I mean,
And call it a
cool, and you have a free
a clothes rack.
Free is the best part.
Free, and look at this,
That's
is free.
free too.
This is a magazine rack, and basically it's a ladder, and that's the whole simplicity of it. You put the wood together and you just nail it to the corners, and that's it. And again, it could be prettier wood. It doesn't have to be rustic tree branches. It could be iron. It could be anything. It just needs to be a ladder, and it becomes a magazine rack.
I love that, but this
Free.
is my favorite.
This is such a riot. I mean,
What can you do to that besides
not
that?
a lot. You can put this on it. But again, for a bathroom like this, a lower level bathroom that's whimsical and that's kind of fun and a little bit comedic, I mean, this adds a wonderful touch. Anyone reaching for the toilet paper is just going to get a kick out of this.
It's perfect. The whole thing is perfect.
Thank
I just
you.
love it. Thank
I love
you.
it too.
And remember, with a little imagination, you can make your decorating dreams come true for less. I'm Joan Steffen. Thank you for watching.
And with that little bit of nonsense, I think I'm going to call it here for the night. There is still a decent chunk of Season 5 left. So, in the future, if we want, we can watch a little bit more of that. And hopefully I can find more seasons. I don't know why seasons after Season 5 are so hard to get a hold of. Because I think when I last looked on Google, there's like 31 seasons of this show, which is just insane to me. But yeah, I'd love to try and get more episodes to watch more of this show with you guys. This is one of my favorite streams I do, next to my drawing streams. But yeah, I hope everybody has a good rest of your night. And I will be back on a Thursday with something maybe a little different. Okie dokie. I'll see y'all on Thursday.